Okay. All right. Time to get into some shit here. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. Thank you for anyone that's joining in the background on the live stream. There's a few of you going on there. We're gonna play some D&D. Session 1 of Forgelands. Let me make sure the music is up, but not overwhelming. Come on, sound. Give me a song that's got some oomph to it. Thank you. There we go. Who's that in the background? That is Kathy. She is one of the players. She gets to play in person because she is part of my bubble, my group. She is saying hello. She brings a little wisdom and experience to our group. That's what she does. And with that, I am also back in the Discord.
Woohoo!
Woo! Time for Dungeons and Dragons. All right, is the Drew here? He's muted. He's light.
He was here.
I am. I'm eating. That's all. I'm just eating.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, damn right.
You want me to chew it? I can chew on mine. No problem.
No. Then we'll have one less player to deal with in this campaign. So much to my chagrin, for the first time in a long fucking time, everybody showed up on time, which means I got to reward them for session 1.
Yeah.
Normally I'd be upset. I'd be like, you guys, you didn't show up on time. But like, session 1, I gotta give you benefits already? What the fuck? All right. So in that case, to give the extra benefits for everyone showing up on time, and you can't spend it right away or anything, but everyone is gonna get an extra 1 silver piece of starting money.
Woo.
They're all in the same.
So, and for Jesse Jane, I'll add it in for you to make it a little easier. You're now up to 3 silver pieces. It's a 50% increase for you, lady.
Yeah.
3 silver pieces to go buy me a new pair of Michael Jordan runners. So, welcome to the first session of Forgelands. Our sort of Western style, sort of colonial style D&D RPG. It's going to be some classic D&D elements, but also some sort of expansion, city building, kingmaker type of shit going on, which is also, when you think about it, classic D&D elements. It's just like something people forgot was part of D&D for the longest time. Because back in my day, that was a default part of D&D. You hit like 10th level and you just got an army, motherfucker. Okay.
7th level if you are a fighter.
So, yeah, lower level if you were a fighter. That was one of their things. Fighters are just like, I've got an army now. What'd you get? I got Fireball.
Class feature, you get a castle.
Yeah. No, I think it was you had to build the castle. And then you would get it. I think it was actually the prerequisite.
You get land to build a castle.
Yeah. But they just assumed when you hit a certain point in that game that you were considered like nobility or landed or something like that. Like, yeah. Yep. So that's what we're doing. But just like the old days, you got to work yourselves up to it. You're not going to be getting into this right away. You're going to be general adventurers at first. So I do believe everybody is at the ready, Nespa. Yeah. I know the Drew is eating. I appreciate that you're not eating into the mic, but you are here. Yeah, I heard the quick. Rose, Residual Rose, you were here as well. Yes. All right, and then I heard him, and then the bad hair game. Everyone is here, and then we got the Flannery lady behind us. Okay, now before we get into the story or the meat and potatoes and how we're going to be starting, to give us a visual on each character and how you kind of look, and I'm going to sort of cop out on this one and through one reason or another, you kind of all know each other, which is why you're going to be teaming up for this. So we don't have to go through a long, like, introductory period. You kind of have adventured before. You're already level 2. Maybe you've met in the past. It's not that you're a tight-knit group per se, as out of all of the people in the area that are going to be interested in this expedition, these are the people you distrust the least. So these are probably the people you've chosen. So what I would like to do is I'm going to go character by character. We're going to go through it, and you're going to describe who you is and sort of like what you look like, and basically any other details you want the other players and or audience to know about your character. So stretching over the microphone for a minute, we are going to start with Jessie Jane the Halfling.
Hello, y'all. My name is Jessie Jane, and as you can see, I'm a little dumpy lady. I usually wear my hair in a single braid down the back. I wear the halfling equivalent of blue jeans and cowboy boots. Leather armor over my shirt, and a wide brim hat because I react badly to the sun. I have a crow. He's my friend. His name is Joe. And I'm here to make money, ransom my family. I think I'm done.
Your family?
I didn't hear what y'all said.
To ransom back your family. It's like, did you take your family hostage?
When I was younger, I traveled in a caravan, and these people raided my caravan and took my tribe as slaves. And the reason they didn't take me was because I was under the bunk. So I'm raising money to ransom my family back out of slavery.
Oh, damn. So, there is Jessie Jane, the halfling. Pretty nice so far with her little pet crow. And like an actual, like proper crow, not like a racist Disney crow. Jamie! let's do Jamie next. Jamie the Outlander. Give her. Let's switch over.
Well, Jamie is your proverbial woodsman in all that entails. He can read the land, he can read the animal sign, and if it lives or breathes, he can probably track it down and probably put it in the stew pot for you. He is a wood elf. He is just over 5 feet tall, but when he moves, he very much gives the impression of a large cat hunting. He has leaf green eyes and dark black hair. He tends to be dressed in buckskins that all appear to have been handmade. That includes the fringe, which is actually useful in the wilderness. He doesn't wear a cloak. He instead prefers a longer jacket. And on his calves, he actually wears, well, what city folk would call spats, but they're just kind of almost like short chaps for him. They're just an extra layer of protection. But unlike most elves, he does not prefer the bow and arrow. He actually hunts with a musket. And he is a man of very few words, but those words are quick and to the point.
All right. So I'm assuming with the musket, you tend to hunt bigger game then.
Yes.
You're probably not hunting squirrels and rabbits with a big old musket.
No, that's what the throwing knives.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, that gets us Jamie. Jorah, I do believe you are next.
Yeah. Jorah, he is a human. Is pretty tough and hardy looking from someone who's looked like he's had his fair share of manual labor. You would have known from traveling in the past a bit with Jorah that he grew up on the farm. He's a little over 6 feet tall, dark hair, blue eyes, bit of a stubble going on his face. Not clean shaven, but he's, pretty cool and collected most of the time. He's pretty, down to earth, easygoing fellow who just wants to get out in the world and help make a difference. The reason he's pursuing this course with the milieu is because the farm has fallen on some hard times, and he figures, going this route could help some raise some money to help save the farm and help Ma and Pa lead a more comfortable life and not have to worry about this sort of thing anymore. You don't see him buckle down to a lot of weapons. He's wearing basic traveler's clothes, no armor. He's only got a hand axe strapped to his pack for a tool and a dagger in his belt. Other than that, he usually likes to get up close and personal with his enemies when he's fighting. And it's basically Jorah.
All right, thanks. So we got the farm boy, just trying to make a difference in the big old world. So going from the dusty farm to more of a wintry thing as we get to our special snowflake, Otto.
What can you say about Otto? He as far as he's concerned, he's an outstanding fella. Before he was cursed with his affliction, he was a wonderful half-elf, born to a noble family. Lived a lavish life, until he met the wrong, fiendish, evil person who turned him into the visage that you see today. A play on his name, Otto von Hops. He now dons bunny ears that this being thought would be quite funny for him to have. He didn't do anything. He has no idea why they've afflicted him with this, but he does know that he is going to do whatever he can to get his original form back and get rich along the way. He tries to cover himself up as much as possible, even before being turned into like a bunny man. He would stick out like a sore thumb in this setting with a bright regal robe, then like a gold mask with like goggles. A spellcaster by trade, he has begun to dabble in conjuring creatures from the beyond to do his bidding, which he thinks with time will allow him the power he needs to seek the ultimate revenge.
All right. Now that we've finished with the anthropomorphic bunny man, we move away from the cursed to the more naturific. Let's talk about Tila for a second here. What's up with Tila?
Tila is a very short, scrappy-looking, pointed-eared human, wearing nothing more than simple rags and cloaks. She was born to a mother that favored the wilderness and daughter to a father that did not know she existed up until about a year and a half ago. Once Daddy Dearest heard of his illegitimate half-breed in staining the family lineage, he sought out to wipe the mistake from the family line.
Ooh.
So he signed up with the Iranic. Sorry, how do you spell it?
Irenic milieu.
Iranic milieu to help get away from her father. Tila is very low energy, maybe like hovering around a 3 out of a 10, even when facing down death. And she seems to be very at home in the wilderness and the forest. barely even wearing shoes.
All right, so you're full hippie in that case, by the looks of it. Just embracing nature as Mama would deem proud. And we will definitely be coming back to deal with your daddy issues in the future. I guarantee you about this. I already have plans. All right, Mr. William, please tell us about yourself.
You see before you a man standing perfectly straight, clearly foreign military garb to you, but us outside the game totally recognize a Peninsular War rifleman from the 1800s, Europe, for the British, wearing a green tunic, kind of double-breasted with lots of brass. We're talking tons of brass buttons down the sides, kind of crisscrossed in the middle. Red shoulder kind of pillions, and as well as a red cuffs, blue pants, and sort of like a blackish dark, almost so dark a blue that's almost black leather boots, and carrying a musket, saber on a hilt on his hip, and a very large cap with a sort of a feathered front. This gentleman also has, when his cuffs are down and you don't see them so high, they're normally very, very high cuffs on this, but you can see a scar around his neck that would indicate to some of you who are in the know that he was hung, in fact, and somehow didn't take. That much you know. William Obadiah, sir. He is definitely a grumpy-looking gentleman. He's missing some teeth when he speaks, and he's kind of constantly. He's got a bit of a facial tic, and it kind of like his whole neck jerks towards his shoulder every time he says something loud. And you're not really sure, but he's certainly a hard-looking individual who's maybe seen some shit. That's William Obadiah.
Nice. I'm loving the flavors we're getting so far. And then finally, we're going to move on to Wither. What do we got with Wither?
Right. Well, Tabitha Rose, aka the Withered Rose, aka Wither, is a woman covered in scars from a rather hard and violent life, with skin that is darkly tanned, hair of raven black, and a very intense green eyes that you swear just out of the corner of your vision you thought you saw a flame with green fire, but yeah, it's probably a trick of the light. Her features are slightly angular and her ears come to a point. All signs of her nature is a half-elf mule. Runic and geometric tattoos are inked black into her skin, and she tends to wear lightweight, easy-to-breathe clothing under a long leather coat, as well as wearing a wide-brimmed black hat. Scarves are, of course, a rather common fashion accessory as well. Bandoliers and belt pouches filled with ammo cross her chest and waist, and a finely crafted single dueling pistol, which was probably once part of the set, hangs from a holster at her side. As for who she is, the Withered Rose used to be a rather noticeable professional duelist in the dueling circuit, as it were, who would basically work as a stand-in for various nobles and upper-class duelists who wanted to see their opponent dead, but didn't want to risk death themselves. This person was almost supernaturally good at the job, in fact. For those more in the know that the Withered Rose was Tabitha Rose, who was a soldier with the Arenic Milu's Flower Guard, sort of an elite bodyguard corps. In particular, she served around the Arenic Milu, including the recently opened in the last century Windermere Annex. And she basically finished her service, got her citizenship, as it is one of the few ways for half-elves and other hybrids to get citizenship in the Arenic Milu. She's a bit mum on what happened between her service, however, and her dueling career. either way, she's signed up with you guys as you are in the need for both someone who is a good, clean shot and someone who can also drive a wagon and a horse team, which she can, thanks to her military background.
All right, perfect. Well, we got the introductions out of the way. A lot of good characters. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this campaign. Before we get into sort of the introduction of the actual adventures and campaign in here, a little bit of a vomit forth of information just for players that haven't played in this setting before, as well as for anyone watching now or in the future. We are set in the world known as the Windermere World Plate. And like all worlds, it is of course perfectly flat and hexagonal in shape, as a world should be. Now, it's gone through much history, including something called the World Crash, although very few people would know or remember what the hell that is, as that was a very long time ago. But there's been a lot of things happening with this in this world. Now, you yourselves, although some of you are fairly well traveled, have probably not experienced a lot of the countries of the planet. So we're not going to go into the details of a lot of it, including the Windermere Annex, which is where the last campaign setting was set. But in this case, one of the main things that you guys are dealing with is the fact that at one point or time, the high elves of the world, which have saved the planet in the past, rediscovered a library called the Library of Aklash, which held ancient secrets, including the secrets of elven high magic. Being able to reclaim these powers of elven high magic, they decided that only they knew what was right for the world, and they were going to help civilize it. And thus the Irenic Milieu was born. The Irenic Milieu has decided that through its levels of proper society and the way mannerisms and the laws of the Irenic Milieu, that they would give each country a choice: join us or deal with the consequences. And the consequences could be anywhere from total obliteration to just being ostracized from the rest of the world, which has its own downfalls. Now, in many ways, this is a double-edged sword, as people living under the Irenic Milieu, at least those that are of acceptable lineages, quite like it, as they do get a lot of perks. It is a fairly good society. You see a lot of advancements, a lot more equal like pay, and people are taken care of at temples for illnesses and things like this. The Irenic Milieu makes sure that the people that they deem worthy and proper do indeed have good care. Of course, the downside is that many of you, and that's a good portion of the party, are not deemed worthy. If you're a half-breed or not one of the core races, you're generally seen as a bit lesser. Humans are tolerated. They're considered quick-lived and slow by the actually immortal elves. And wood elves, as you do have a wood elf in the party, were actively at war with the Irenic Milieu and the high elves at one point, as they themselves are traditionally xenophobic isolationists, deciding that the immortal elves should normally just watch from afar as the mortals do their thing. No reason to get involved when you can just wait them out and they'll go away, right? But nevertheless, the pointed war, as it was known, did happen. And yeah, you do have one member of the party, however, that is well accepted, and that is the halfling of the party, as halflings are one of the, aside from maybe high elves, are maybe even more than the high elves, are considered one of the most premier and prestiged races in the world. Almost all halflings generally come from the nation of New Haven. And halflings are known for their bravery, their courage. In fact, you cannot even be a noble in halfling society unless you have proven yourself worthy in one way or another, and proven yourself a person of being a good heart, which is kind of interesting. So the Irenic Milieu, which is the elven society that has become almost like an organization, not not quite like an empirical government, but it's an overreaching organization that does control the, I would say, fundamental structure of certain laws and how countries present themselves. Is rather important to the world. Now, countries can still self-govern as long as they are within these tenets by the Irenic milieu. Why does my music keep stopping? Now, the Irenic milieu has looked upon what is known as the Great Expanse. A good portion of the primary continent within the Windermere World Plate is basically untamed wilderness, although there are little micronations and scattered towns all through the frontiers that range anywhere from northern pine forests into plains, arid shrublands, all the way down into deserts in the very south. They have decided the Great Expanse needs to be tamed. Populations in many countries, especially Refnel, which is where you're going to be starting in, are booming, and they want places to expand, and there's lots of resources, including some ancient, untapped resources from before the world crash that the Irenic milieu has decided we probably should see about garnering. So what they've decided to do is Mr. S-Shroud, Criterion Prime S-Shroud, he was the Criterion in charge of the Windermere Annex, another country that we won't go into for now, but he has since moved on and has been put in charge of a new project that he has named the Forgelands Expedition, as he has named it. And that is to go forth, conquer, tame, and civilize the Great Expanse. Now, he thought one of the best ways to start this, and things may change over time as he gets more resources and more people interested, but one of the ways he decided to start this, since he does know of key points throughout the expanse that may be useful, is to get groups of not always adventurers, sometimes it's just wealthy people, driven people, desperate people, but just groups together, give them some support, say go out, found yourself a town, try to work yourself up. If you manage to gain any semblance of civility and stability, then and only then will you be backed by the Irenic milieu, and we will support you in your endeavor. Until such time, of course, you'll not receive any aid from the Irenic milieu individually, but you may, through contacts, receive aid in other ways as is needed. That is where we come to today, is you were told on the first day of the third month in this year, whatever the fuck this year is. In the year, that is the wrong year. It reset the year on me again. Anyways, it's the third month of the first day. And so it is Crom's Day, the first of Muldrill. And you have been told that you need to go to the westernmost town in the country of Refnel. But that's not where our story begins today. Our story begins in a different time. And it begins with an arrow. An arrow that you hear goes kathunk, and another arrow that suddenly goes in a little more of a wet kathunk as it strikes into a rather portly man. Let me bring up his picture for you. A man named Baldrando Gabir yells out in pain as a arrow sticks into his shoulder, going, "Oh no, Baldrando has been hit! Someone take the reins!" And with this, we get into it.
I will.
What's up?
I guess I'll take the reins.
So what has happened is you are at a point in time, and ignore the winner where, just you are on a path. You are with this man, Baldrando. You are in a caravan, and you have been traveling. You have your supplies. You're actually headed onto the place that you are planning on trying to set up, when you have been besought by bandits upon the road, highwaymen. And this is where we are going to start, as your dear Baldrando, who owns this wagon, has been harmed and hurt. and it's your job to attempt to not only defend him, but to defend the cargo of the wagon as we begin. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to run this initial encounter as a combat. I'm going to run this as a skill challenge, or an action challenge, as I like to call it. So first of all, I'm going to change the music to something a little more combat-y. Yeah.
But it's not a combat.
But it's not a combat. It's action challenge. So the way we're going to work this for an action challenge, and I figure this is a good way. Some of you have done action challenges in my campaigns before. Some of you have not. So we're going to go through this, and I figured this is a good way to sort of throw you in, as I do want to utilize action challenges a fair amount in this campaign, as well as regular combats. So action challenges work simply. The group goes, and then the environment goes, which could be the bad guys or whatever else is happening. Action challenges can be used for things like social encounters or chase scenes or whatnot. In this particular case, it is a chase scene. And every time it is the player's turn, you guys get to choose who goes in what order. You can discuss this among yourselves. And you describe what you're going to do. Don't necessarily describe it with like, I'm going to roll a stealth check. Just describe what you're going to do. I'll tell you what you need to roll. It could be an ability check, it could be a saving throw, it could be an attack roll. Yeah, the only times you don't really have to roll is if you're either giving assistance to another person, in which case they get advantage on their check, or you're casting a spell, in which case you are you're probably doing either a spell attack, or you're giving someone else a bonus of +2 per level of the spell that you just cast, depending on what's going on and what kind of spell it is. Generally, each action challenge works a little bit differently. Most action challenges, you need a certain amount of successes, and the DC is set depending on the difficulty of the action. And then if you fail, usually around 3 times, sometimes the action challenge fails, and you've failed. For this particular action challenge, it's going to work a little bit differently. Every time you make a success, you manage, because you're trying to outrun the bandits at the moment, or at least deal with the situation. Every time you make a success, the cart will move forward 6 squares. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. I'll put it back. And of course, all of the mounts can move independently as well. And that one just screwed up the mount for some reason. Thank you, program. 1 second. Let me give you your mount back. There we go. And you can move freely on the carts. You can move, and even if you move off the cart, if you move off it, suddenly you're not on the cart, so you won't go with it anymore. Because the beauty of Foundry is the cart will automatically capture you as a rider if you're over top of it. The same with the mounts. I really like that. I think it's pretty awesome. So, with every success, the cart moves forward 6. If you manage to get the cart completely over the white line all the way on the left side of the map, and for those that need it, I believe, yep, yeah, that moved you. So there's a white line all the way on the left side of the map, and we'll bring you back over here. Yeah, perfect. Now, every time you fail a check, you're going to lose 25% of the cargo, or if you're out of cargo, you may start to lose the horses. To the point where eventually, if you lose all the horses and all the cargo, you might end up starting with nothing. So this action challenge is going to determine just how many resources you're going to end up starting this campaign with. Sound good?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
This has more impact than just do we die or not die. Nothing's going to kill you in this combat. It's how much stuff you're going to start with. This is part of the reason I started you with so little.
It's my swag.
Yeah, my swag's going. So you're just, and you know that there's more. You can hear them and see them far in the distance. There's a ton more brigands way in the distance, which is part of the reason that stopping and fighting is probably not a great idea. But you also know that you've got excellent horses. They're elven-bred horses, possibly even magically enchanted, according to your rotund merchant Buldrondo. Whether you believe him or not is up to you. but they do seem like they could outrun the horses of the bandits themselves, the highwaymen. So this is where we're going to get into things. This is where we're going to begin combat, and I am going to start with the players, basically. Your first round is to discuss among yourselves who is going to go first and what you would like to do. If for some reason we can't settle on who should go first, then I'll just go through the list. But yeah, what would you guys like to do in this situation as you were accosted by highwaymen?
Well, if no one minds, I'd like to go first, as I'm right there and I can take the reins.
I have something planned, so I'll go after you.
Okay.
I should really make.
I don't care where I go.
Yeah, gaining control of the carriage is probably first priority. So yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so Wither is going to take the reins, try to get control of the carriage. Who's going to go after Wither? Who would like to go next after that?
That's Otto. So we can see the bandits
Actually,
up
so
ahead, right?
how would we like to run this? Would we like to say who goes first, do their turn, and then see who goes next? Or do we just want to declare all at once what we're doing?
Declaring is fun.
Yeah, she says declare all at once.
I second that motion.
Yeah, I think declaring all at once kind of gives more of that feel of us not knowing exactly what's going to happen. It's that spur of the moment.
Everything's just chaotic and all happening at once. Love it. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so Otto, you I believe jumped in next.
So I think I'm going to use Mage Hand to try and pull the bandit's reins sideways to veer it off of his course.
Okay, all right. So, spell to screw with the bandits. And, no, not spell. Auto. Spell 2. There we go. Just keeping some notes for myself because I'm going to forget in about 2 seconds due to the memory of a goldfish while I'm running this. So Otto is going to attempt to reach out magically to sort of screw with the bandits that he can see in front of him and see if he can actually sort of veer them off to lessen the bandits that are attacking you guys. All right, who would like to go after Otto?
I am defending the back of the wagon.
You're defending the back of the wagon?
I've got in the back of the wagon.
Okay, all right. So you're just doing like covering fire to try and keep them away from the back of the wagon then?
Y'all got it.
Okay, so Jesse, I'm gonna put Jesse Jane. It's just like saying Jesse Jane. Jesse Jane is doing cover fire from the back of the wagon. I'm also going to be super nice, and if you guys have to make attack rolls or anything with any ranged weapons during the action challenge, do not worry about your ammo. We're going to replenish it before, like, where you're going to go. We're going to reset your ammo. You're fine. Okay, so that's Jessie Jane. She's doing cover fire to try and keep the bandits away from the thing here. Who's next? What do we got?
I guess I'll go. My plan is to go to this bandit that's just off to my character's left, the one to the south of me, and try and like clothesline him off his horse.
Okay, so
Backwards jousting?
line bandit off his horse.
That
Got
boy's
it.
got style.
That boy does have style. So you're gonna come in and like Hulk punch him in the face or some stuff.
Just swerve over and just kind of a big, swat with the arm, shove him off his horse.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Who wants to go after Jorah?
Oh,
All right, no
boys.
preference. I'll go.
Okay, William.
I'm gonna go at. I'm gonna wheel my horse around and go at Ingenious Bandit, and slide up, I guess, from or his right, my right, and cut the stirrups, push him off his horse.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're gonna disable the gear, the tack on his horse.
Mm-hmm.
Gear on horse. Okay, cool. I like that. All right. So who do we have left? We have Jamie and Tila left.
I will go last because my turn's actually pretty important in what everyone else does.
Oh, okay. All right. Jamie, what do we got?
I am going to deploy a trap, specifically one of my spike flinger traps. Basically, right here, just to the north of Naive Bandits, so that when Churlish Bandit moves up, it'll activate.
Is that what he's named? Churlish Bandit? I didn't even look at the names it chose.
Yes, he's Churlish.
I'm beating up the fashionable bandit on my turn.
Fashionable. I didn't even look at these names. Okay, so you're throwing the trap to try and basically spook his horse.
It's actually to bring his horse down.
Oh, okay. Throwing trap.
I'm
Disable
there,
horse.
Horses,
That way he's not bringing it back under control after and just catching up again anyways. Cool. All right, Tila, you're the last.
All right, you guys ready for this? Tila snores as she is fast asleep in the back of the carriage.
Tila does nothing. Got it. We see where this character's going. Okay. All right, in that case, Wither. So this is going to be taking the reins. Now thankfully the horses aren't horribly spooked or anything, but he already had them at a ferocious and rather extreme gallop for this size of a wagon. Do you have proficiency in land vehicles?
I do have proficiency in land vehicles. For some reason it's not on my sheet, but I do have it. It's my soldier thing.
All right, yeah, that is one of the options soldier can give. So that's
Well,
probably
it's not an option. You have to take it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm not sure why my sheet says Tinker's Kit though, because it should say that as well.
No worries. So you've got proficiency in land vehicles, which is probably why you insisted on going shotgun in the first place.
Yeah.
So in that case, I am going to say that we're going to use proficiency in, so it's going to be a charisma check with proficiency, as it's you're more guiding the horses, I think, in this case, soothing the horses and goading them on. You're not so much steering as at this point, you're just urging the horses. So I would definitely say a charisma check with proficiency to represent this.
I'll just make a charisma save then, because it's the same thing. +6.
Yeah, that works. Absolutely. And you're only looking for a DC of 10.
Okay. Dice, don't screw me now on my first check, please. Having said
Roll the
that,
game.
They screwed you.
They screwed you.
Top notch right there.
Good job. Okay, so the Withered Rose takes the reins and says, "I got this." And then, whoa, this is awesome. And with that, the horses like stop for a second and stutter before Rose is like, "Oh shit, no, go, getting up." With all the jostling and everything that happens, unfortunately, one of the chests actually falls off and tumbles behind you. As a result, losing some of the cargo.
one of these days I'd like the dice to not fuck me over in a game that we're streaming. It'd be nice.
Good job. Already lost 25% of the starting stuff.
Just once, please.
25%? Oh.
Yep.
That's heavy.
Yep. And after you lose all of the gear, you start losing horses.
You literally had an 85% chance to succeed.
Yep.
I gave you a super low DC. Okay, Otto. I'm thinking that this would be like a spell attack at this point, as you're trying to. I mean, it's not normally something you can do with Mage Hand, but that's the beauty of action challenges. We can be creative with this stuff, right? So I'm going to say it would be a spell attack roll. In order to accost the bandit's horse with the Mage Hand attempting to screw it up with the reins.
Okay. Give me a second here. I get. I want to say +2. I might be wrong.
You're definitely wrong.
No, you would get your proficiency bonus, which is +2, and then you're getting whatever your spell casting stat is. Which is, what are you? That would be your charisma bonus, +3, +5.
+5. Okay.
And once again, this is just a DC 10 right now. You guys are trying to hit, at least for this portion.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
There we go.
There you go. All right. So with that being one of the successes, you know that you are going to be able to move the wagon up. As you guys move along, I'll move the other horses and everything in a second at the end of the round. But yeah, so the wagon will start pulling ahead. You're actually doing fairly well, all things considering, despite the one lost chest of goods. You can see Boldrondo, a large portly man, looking at the tumble chest and all the scattered contents of weapons, armor, food, and everything, looking at it and going, Boldrondo is sad. With that, we've got Jesse Jane is next, doing cover fire from the back of the wagon. That's straight up attack check with your weapon, I would say.
Gotten shot then.
So the show, yeah. So you click on your character. Yep. Go to your inventory. This way you don't have to open it. And you've your short bow. Click on the short bow. Yeah. Go. Oh, it's because you're going straight across. Go down and then click on it. There you go.
You might even want.
Gun rolls.
You might even want to favorite that for her, so it's just on her main page if it's one of her go-to attacks.
I had her doing it in the quick bar.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that works better
Yeah,
too.
click on that roll right there. Where's your mouse?
Oh, here.
Yeah. That is a good hit. We're not going to worry about damage because it's more about if you're hitting or not. That is an excellent hit, actually.
But I also want you to know that I'm going to give a major kick in the ass.
So you fire the arrow and start screaming, gotta protect things, and then she like kicks Tila like, wake up.
Major.
Also in the future, you might
major
want to
kick.
make sure that she doesn't have sneak attack damage toggled or whatever.
Yes, it seems to be
Off
on.
the
I was testing it earlier to make sure it worked, and it looks like she had it on.
Yeah.
I will
Guys, I'll
show her this.
I'll actually be back in a bit. If it comes back to around the top of the round, just another vehicle check to spur to go faster.
You got it. +6.
Or
I'll
control.
remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. So next is gonna be Jorah. You were going in to try and clothesline that bandit. You've kind of you've kind of moved up.
Yeah, there we go. I'm down there yet, and try and shove him off his horse.
All right.
Clothesline.
I would say that's probably an athletics check.
Okay. Works for me. All right, come on, dice, don't fail me now.
Later, Blackburn. Thanks for showing up. Hey, that is good enough. You definitely do well. Oh, I forgot to move things forward because of Jesse Jane's rolls, actually.
That was a total of 12 more squares.
6. Oh, you guys are flying through this. No problems. Okay.
Yeah, we got 3
And then-
successes.
And then I would have tried moved up a little bit after knocking him off his horse, but I can anyway.
Yep. Here, I'll just I'll bring up some of you guys.
Yeah.
Actually, wonder if this is gonna break.
It should be off his horse.
This will break everything if I try to move everyone up like this. Yes, it did break things.
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh, one of you just kept going. Bye.
Come back, Dora!
You've gone to your people.
Yeah.
You've gone to your people.
Left the building.
Yeah, okay. So moving them all at once, bad idea. Got it. The mod is not good with that.
I wonder if he's still going.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
say Jorah still rides on till this day.
he's off the map. He is off the map.
I called him and he was just gone.
And 1 second, I can no longer seem to get back to the map. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I couldn't either for a sec.
Okay. I'll make sure.
My horse tapped into the Speed Force, and
Yeah, apparently. I mean, it is a beta program with mods. The fact that I can even do this is amazing. So, the important thing is you moved forward. I'm gonna move some things here. 1 second. Okay. Oh, we might not even get to round 2. You guys are doing really good so far. These checks. Okay, so William, you're next. You're gonna clothesline a bandit, I do believe.
Well, basically, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Or sorry, disable. Sorry, that was Jamie. Disable gear on the horse. That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cut it with my saber, push him off.
All right. Yep. That would just be an attack with your saber then.
Cool. Oh, I didn't want to do it with advantage.
Oh, the first roll was still enough. It was an 11 on the die.
Yeah.
Before your +5. You guys are killing it
That's
again.
funny. Was it right click for advantage? Why is it now say normal? What did I do differently?
You could have right clicked. Maybe you held shift. I don't know.
Okay. I might have. Okay.
I click on it and toggles through either advantage, disadvantage, or normal.
Yeah, that too.
All right. Well, I slashed his tackle and gave him a little shove off his horse.
Yeah, with that, the bandits, once again, more of the bandits are losing their riding status and sort of slipping behind. Your wagon getting ahead. So next we have Jamie. Now you're throwing a trap to disable the horse behind you.
That is correct.
I would say you've got tinker tools, right?
I do.
What about a roll? What would you think of a roll with your tinker tools? Maybe wisdom?
Sure.
Sound good to you? I'm open for interpretation. So in that case,
Dex,
yeah,
maybe, because it might be finicky while riding on a horse.
that's true. What would you think better? Wisdom and knowing where to place it, or Dex for just actually throwing it in the right place?
I don't really think I have time to think about proper placement. I think it's all about instinct at the so
Dex it is then. So go ahead and roll Tinker's tools with Dex. So basically just proficient Dex.
okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a Dex save because
Makes it easy.
makes it easy.
So I figure it's probably finicky trying to do it on a moving horse.
Wow, you guys are just killing it. You're almost there already.
Nice.
I was kind of hoping to fuck with you a bit more. You're almost there. You got to get the whole thing past that white line, though.
Yeah, we're only one chest down. That's not so bad.
All right, and with the last action for the round, Tila does nothing. You maybe snort away because you're getting kicked by the halfling beside you, and that's pretty much it for you.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah. So with that, we are going to do some things here as the difficulty scales up. Although you really don't have far to go. I'm going to choose who's first. Otto von Hops, Bad Hair Gaming. I would like you to roll percentile for me. This is going to determine what's happening to you guys.
73.
73. Okay, so this looks like that was that one. Okay, let's move this over here. So in front of the cart, as you were moving, I'll move it over forward a bit. As you were moving forward, you suddenly realized there was a fallen tree in front of where you're heading with the cart, and actually veering around it, and the whole situation with the whole wagon is going to have to move is going to make all the checks a little bit harder this time. As the whole wagon is either going to crash horribly into the tree, in which case I am going to force the person driving the wagon to go first.
That'd be me.
Or the wagon gets around, but then it's jostled so violently, everyone else is having issues anyways. So I am going to start with the Wither. I'm assuming you are. So how are you dealing with there being a sudden tree in front of the wagon?
That's an interesting thing. Yeah, I guess it's a wagon, so we're not going to jump it. I guess swerve to one side and then around.
Okay, swerving. So it's going to be another check as before. It's going to be another the land vehicles check. Swerve around the tree. So in that case, it is. Well, one way or another, that's going to be a violent situation for everybody in the wagon or following with the horses in order to also get around said log. So, who's next? Who wants to go next?
I'll take the next again. I'm assuming that Wither can succeed in swerving around. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and keep up behind the wagon and cast Create Bonfire on that big wood piece.
Okay, damaging the wood piece of the Create Bonfire. So damaging with a spell.
More of it as hopefully it's something that will add additional trouble to the baddies.
The pursuers.
Okay, all right, I see. So you're doing it so that once you get around it, the other guys have to deal with a fiery bit of wood, not just a bit of wood. Okay, damage spelled. Screw with bandits. Got it. I like it. Okay, who wants to go after Otto? And even if you guys get over the white line, I'm doing everyone's turn just to see if you also lose some equipment.
Okay.
I'll actually spring into action. Notice our portly friend is injured, and she will reach over and heal him.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do here is so you're casting a cure wounds then or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Curing Boldrondo. So what I'm going to do is you are technically going to be going before Wither then. Since you don't have to make a roll, Wither is going to be, since you're casting a spell, I'm going to say that curing Boldrondo means that Boldrondo is going to be able to help Wither with getting the horses reined in to get around here. So Wither's actually going to get a +2 because it's double the level of the spell. So Wither's actually going to end up getting a +2 to her roll.
Nice.
As
Dora would like to go next if possible.
You're not even on the map anymore, buddy.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I know, I'm around.
Okay, Jorah, what are you doing in outer space?
Jorah was planning on looping around to this side of the tree and very angrily grab it and try and pull it out of the way.
Okay.
Because I saw Wither struggling with controlling the horses before. I want to try and pull this out of the way. So I'm going to grab one of the stray branches and with much anger and force try and heave it out of the way.
Okay. So what I'm going to...
A little bit.
So heaving tree...
Or even just angle it a bit more to make it easier to go around it.
Okay. Yeah, what I'm doing this round that I should have did last round and I forgot that's the way I was going to run it is I'm going to do all the rolls, get all the results, and then I'm going to say what happens instead of moving it forward each person. So I should have did that the first time and I forgot. All right, so who's going after Jorah?
I assume this is not going to be the only skill testing thing around.
Oh no, I'm going to use action challenges in the future, for sure.
All right, William's gonna slap his horse to go get a little further here and come up beside the wagon and help guide the horses that are probably spooked by this branch.
Okay.
Give an assist for wheeling around the branch.
Okay, all right. So you're helping to guide and calm the horses. I like that. Who would go after William?
I'm going to grab the rope out of my backpack, and I'm going to throw it around, feeling myself, catch our to the barrels.
Okay, so you start trying to fix things down with a rope in the back of the wagon, including yourselves.
Yes.
Excellent. Good idea. Never know. So Jesse is securing things. in the wagon. Okay, who would like to go after? Who's left?
I think it's just me.
No, Tila was first, actually. All right,
Tila
what are
was
you
early.
doing?
She healed Beldrondo.
What's Jamie doing?
Jamie's gonna move up a bit first, but then he, wolves tend to, even if they've got the scent of something, they tend to flee if the alpha drops. So Jamie's gonna move up a bit, and then he's gonna take aim not at this lead bandit who's carrying this torch, so much as at his horse.
Okay.
He's going to try to blow the horse out from under him.
All right.
Hoping that will cause the rest of the bandits to, break off because they're leaderless.
I like it. Okay.
Or at least light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Frank.
Because if the big guy falls, if the bandits are like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" No, let's just go home, dude. So Wither, we're gonna start with you. It is once again going to be your check, but instead of a +6, you're going to get a +8 this time because you're getting an additional +2 from Beldrondo as a result of Tila healing him.
All right. And wasn't there an assist from William?
There was.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were. So you're gonna get. So William actually technically goes before you as well, and in that case you get advantage because he's assisting you.
Oh, okay. Give it. Okay, I see.
Okay, let's see if I did the code for this right.
There you go. That's right.
Yep, I did the code right. Yep.
Well, yeah, you just have to click the little 20 die twice, add the things, and then click the ADV button and roll.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I put in KH1.
Oh yeah, you don't have to type it. You can just press the buttons. I'm lazy. That is more than good enough. So you looks like you're going to be able to swerve around the branch and get away, but there's still some shit going on. So let's see what everyone else does as far as this is concerned. Otto, you were trying to screw with the bandits so they don't keep following you, maybe making the last few ones that are there sort of crash into the burning foliage. So I'm going to say spell attack would probably be a good idea unless you've got something else you think would be better.
I mean, spell attack sounds good to you. It sounds good to me.
All right, go ahead and make a spell attack for me.
+5. There we go. Roll it.
Nice.
Baby!
Wahoo!
You are good. You are good. I should mention, by the way, I didn't mention this part. It is a DC 12s that you've been trying to hit so far. Not 10s this time. So you're doing good. You're getting ahead. Jorah, you are maneuvering the tree to, one, make it a little easier for your guys to get out of the way, but two, probably to have this large burning log now be more in the way of the bandits. So I would say that's probably an athletics check.
Okie dokie. And I am doing it angrily, so advantage.
Yeah, I will give that to you, sure.
Because that is a fail.
Nice.
Okay, you did good. You did good. Jesse.
Eve of frustration and strength.
So Jorah goes up and just like bulging muscles. He seems to move almost more than you think he should, but he's able to actually like move what amounts to an entire burning tree quite a good distance for just some guy on a horse. His farming life has done him good.
I was going to say, for a farm boy, he sure knows his way around a flaming log.
Jesse, you're securing things in the wagon. In this case, I'm going to say it is, you'd be tying knots, which is, I believe, sleight of hand? Yeah, so
Makes sense.
sleight of hand is, I believe, for tying knots. So you're rolling, it's a D20 plus 3. Oh, there you go, you figured it. Oh, that's
sorry.
you. You were just looking at it.
Yeah, I clicked it. I was looking at
there. Well, you're on your character. Go to skills. Find sleight of hand.
just quickly change your name to Jesse on there?
Yep, and click. Oh, you made it. You're good.
Oh.
You're good. Okay. We haven't lost any more cargo yet, but we do have one more turn to go. Jamie, you're attacking the bandit captain's horse. Now, the bandit captain's horse actually has some barding on it. It looks like he's pretty well decked out. What I'm going to say is it's going to be a little bit harder to hit him. It's actually going to be a 14. But if you do so, there's some loot that looks like it's sort of teetering on the edge of going from the wagon, and he's trying to shoot it out of it. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if you do succeed at this slightly harder check, you're saving more product, aka I'm going to return some of that 25% that you lost, like 1 or 2 items, basically.
Okay.
Since it's a little bit harder. So
Okay.
you're attacking it. So make a attack roll with your ranged weapon, and you're trying. It's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a 14 that you're trying to hit.
Okay.
Oh fuck!
Oh, nice.
Hello.
Well, in that case, you didn't lose much stuff after all.
Yay.
So with that, you actually make it across all the way, and you get away scot-free. So that was our little intro to action challenges. I find it's a good way if you don't want to deal, because I wanted to do a high-speed chase, but I wasn't sure how to do it as an actual combat without like just standing still, and I don't know, it just felt like it was going to be clunky. So
I like it.
I figured that was kind of a cool way to do it. So I made a little map. I blurred the edges of it to make it look like things were whipping by. It didn't last as long as I wanted. I had a couple of boulders here I was going to throw on your way and stuff, but I think you guys did
Well,
good.
rolled really
We had to
well
get
for the
those-
most part.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we had to get those good rolls out now for when you're screwing us later.
Yeah.
I think I got my bad route out now and should have just clean good rolls from now on, right? Right? That's what it works
Right?
best?
Right?
Right?
Maybe. All right, let's change our music back to just the Wild West as we move back here. So that was the chase scene. That was you and Baldrando in the middle of the wilderness heading to where you're going, that you've chosen on the map after you had met on that fateful day back in Refnell on the first day of the 3rd month. But what did happen? Let's rewind in time for a second and go back to that day. Let's actually figure out what happened. So we were in the future, now we're going back to the past again.
So Rashomon.
Yeah, so it's general writing technique. The first scene is what is going to happen, and the next scene is where it all began. So we are going to be smart and preload this for a second. Okay. Activate it, slowly bringing people over. I forgot that preloaded ahead of time. I'm dumb. So here you are at the small village of Moss Creek. This is the westernmost village. It's more of like a fishing, hunting village. It's not very large. You just kind of see the one building of it right now. It looks to be some sort of inn, tavern, combo, hospital type of thing. And is as long as you've got your journal note pin thing toggled so that you always see journal notes, you should see there's an icon right beside Moss Creek Refnell. If you click on it, it gives you information about Moss Creek, that it's a little hamlet and such. Okay, let me actually turn music down all the way for a second. So here we are. This is how it all began. On a fairly chilly day, right near the end of the winter. You're guessing they chose this time for a reason, because if you began your expedition now, then you still have all of the spring and summer months to get through before you have to worry about the next winter and autumn oncoming. But it still has that brisk, cold winter chill air. There's still a few flakes drifting down from the sky as all of you have made it around into Moss Creek this morning. You stopped at the inn. They gave you complimentary food if you're here for the Forgelands expedition. You didn't have to spend any money for that. And they fed you. And with this, you basically waited for your time until sometime in the afternoon after the noonday meal, which they also provided a modest but nevertheless filling meal for you. They suggest for everyone to go outside, to crowd outside in your respective groups. And you see different groups here. Some are more affluent than you are. You do see a group of what looks like well-to-do mercenaries, maybe protecting a minor noble or noble's child or something. Someone of less importance, but some greater amount of money than you. You also see another group of adventurers that seem to be much more, I would say, ragtag than you are. Much more, they almost look more like bandits than anything else. They have, well, I mean, some of you have scars and such, but they have seen much of life. They look like they're well hardened, maybe even more so than some of you. And there's several other groups around there. Some of the groups you're seeing don't look like they're going to last long. There's a few groups of youthful adventurers with their very first dagger and fairly nice looking new clothes that obviously have never been out by themselves before that are also attempting this. You can see a few people around you that will eventually, invariably, probably die. But nevertheless, you have your ragtag group getting together here as well, as they all say to come outside into the brisk cold, and it's hovering around the freezing mark, as the Criterion in charge, which is to speak to you all. And I'm going to show her there. I'm also going to give you limited permissions. If I give you limited permissions, I believe you should be able to see her like biography shit.
Yep.
Sweet. Except that she has the wrong, it changed her feat type on me. You are not supposed to be monster blocks. You are supposed to be that. Yeah, so you should be able to see Criterion Colverrier, Marie-Claude Colverrier, a highborn southern elf. And in my world, by the way, the southern elves are more of the they're more of like French accents with like a posh nature, whereas the northern elves have that like Southern American like genteel accent type of thing, and they're a little more I would say earthy as far as their view towards life is concerned. She has a fairly youthful appearance. She looks, if she were in human years, she looks like she would barely be out of her teens, but she's well over half a millennia old. And yeah, she has taken up the role. She has been put in charge by the Criteria Prime to lead the first wave of the expedition. Basically, she is the numpty for the Irenic milieu that is getting all the early go-getters done and out of the way. With a very clear, only the strong shall survive and thrive approach with this type of thing. So she comes out and there's murmuring amongst the audience. She has a couple of flower guard, which are the official guard of the Irenic milieu, near her on either side, protecting her. You've seen a couple others around. Ever since decades ago, there was a successful assassination against a Criterion due to the failings of their personal guard. Modern Criterion makes sure they sort of double up in the amount of guard that they have. Why does it? Oh, okay, excuse your cursor's there. So as she comes out, she goes, quiet. As many of you know, my name is Marie-Claude Colverrier, and I am the Criterion Prime put in charge of this expedition. You will just, of course, refer to me as Criterion. You do not need to remember my name. I am assured that most of you will most likely perish anyways, so I do not need to know your names. The register will write this down for me. If you are successful and you live, well, that is a discussion we will have in the future. But for now, I will say that we will get this underway. Now, we have made it clear that you will not be receiving any support from the Aranic milieu until you have proved yourself and have some sort of basic settlement. There are plenty of colonists on the way to Moss Creek. The people jumping the gun, so to speak, as you might say. Colonists waiting for a settlement for them to move into. This is up for you to supply for them sometime whenever you can. Before we say go to it and have a good life or death as it may be, do any of you have any questions of the Aranic milieu?
When are y'all gonna learn to speak?
When are we going to learn to speak common like you? She looks at your small halfling stature, and it looks like she's about to say something cutting when, in unison, and this would not happen with anyone else in your group, but in unison, as she's about to say obviously something annoyed and cutting towards you, everyone bristles and sort of takes a step closer to your character in a defensive manner. No one fucks with the halflings. She looks at you and we speak properly for the nation of Oro, where I am from, where the Irenic milieu was born. But I appreciate your difficulty with my accent. Now, is there any other questions that you might have about the setup, support, who is around, or anything about the situation that you will be adding into?
Once we have set up a settlement, do we contact you here for further support?
That is a good.
Or is there a specific location?
That is a good question. Every group that registers with my notary inside will be given what is known as a sending stone. For you not as well versed in this, the sending stone is a magical device that will allow you to contact us. Our particular stones have special properties beyond this, but they will not be shown to you until such time as we have deemed you worthy. But you can use this atom to contact us and let us know. If your sending stone is disrupted, destroyed, or lost, then you could send a message to this village via another way. How you do this, that is up to you. Well, I'm getting head rubs right now. Oh my gosh. Is there any other questions?
What is...
A settlement, buildings, roads, people, some way to support them?
How many?
As long as you've got some sort of basic civilization, say, we are looking for a minimum of about a population of 50.
50, right.
Of course, if you grow greater than that, you will receive more support.
Thank you, and on a pop.
I appreciate that, of course. It is no problem. She looks like she wanted to say more, but once again, like, you see a couple members of the audience, some that don't seem to be in groups. There's actually a few people that seem to be by themselves. So they also sort of bristle, and she doesn't say anything as a result. Unless there is anything else, I do believe we will move you in queue to the notaries and the sign-up process, yes? All right. So with that...
Sounds good.
That sounds like a fine idea.
Let's get a move on.
With that, you are led back into the warmth of the large open area you can see in the front there. There's a large hearth fire in the center area, and there's been a long table set up, and actually a couple of long tables, and there's a couple of other people there, not necessarily elves. It looks more like humans and half elves, and it's just other people that have signed up with the Arenic milieu as part of like the Flower Guard or the Flower Guard assistants, and they are there with almost like a starting package. They each give you a copy of the map for the Forgelands itself, and give me 1 second. I'm going to make it so that you guys can, from now on, really go to the map yourself. But right off the bat, I am going to pull you there. Welcome to the Forgelands. Turn the music up a little bit.
Pretty.
So, in the upper right corner, I'll put you there for 1 second. You can see there is a red marker to show you your current location. You are next to the journal entry for Moss Creek. And as you discover new locations on the map, they will be shown to you. They'll appear. There's a bunch of ones right now that you cannot see at the moment. Cannot click on, as well as some other hidden stuff. But as they pop up, you'll be able to get more notes. And I'm giving you guys ownership access of these notes. So if you have anything on the map that you wish to edit or type into, you can do so. If you wish to make more notes, just please try not to wipe anything that's there. Just like maybe append it to the bottom or something. But you guys will get ownership of all of the notes in the map, so that you can make your own notes and make it a little bit easier on us. If you have difficulty clicking on a journal entry because the player icon is over top of it, don't forget you can, instead of being in the actor select mode on the left hand side, just click on the journal notes, the little bookmark looking like tab, and instead you click on only the journal notes. Makes it easier.
Actually can't open up Moss Creek.
Well, no, I'm going to give you access to it in just a second. I'm just about to.
I mean, I can view it. I haven't tried editing or anything yet. No, it's like I can edit.
There you go.
Things.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So you should have complete access to it. And as I will explain in a moment, you should see another one down here, down to the southwest of you, the old village. We will explain that in the moment as we choose one of two starts for this campaign. All right, because you guys, you can see the old village icon there as well, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go into the quest log. I am going to set 2 quests as available. So if you go into your, for those that want to see it, if you go into your journal tab in the upper right corner, your journal entries, it's the one that looks like an open book. At the bottom of that is the... What's that?
It comes with pretty pictures.
Yeah, and at the bottom of that is the quest log, and there should be 2 available quests. These are your 2 different starts. You can either do clean out the trash, which is they have offered that there is, and I'll just read them out loud. for the audience, as well as it's easier, I think easier for Kathy as well as a few of you. That your group is one of the select few being sent by Refnal on behalf of the Irenic milieu to restore civilization to the Great Expanse. One of your options is to restore an old riverside village that was abandoned a couple of years ago. Investigate the area, clean out any dangers, and rebuild the old saloon. If you accept, the merchant Beldrondo Gabir will accompany you immediately upon leaving Moss Creek. I'll explain this in a second. I'm just showing you the quests before we get into him offering himself. He can buy and sell goods to you. Basically, you get a wandering merchant to come with you. The old saloon is a ruined level 1 establishment stronghold, which means it costs less because it's already there and just needs to be rebuilt. It costs less to get up and running. The settlement itself is, although abandoned and may need a few fix-ups, also there and won't really cost you much of anything to get up and running. It's more about rebuilding the old saloon, and I don't know why it says soon. Rebuild the old soon. Let's saloon. Thank you. So
the old soon.
You got to clear out the town itself, rebuild the old saloon, and of course clear out any dangers in the same hex as the town, as well as any other hidden stuff I got going on in that quest. And as a result, you will get the starting settlement for free. You get a writ of local title. You'll be basically become kind of like a minor version of a landed noble. You'll be recognized as having a local title within your domain. And finishing that particular thing is a milestone. Now, the other option, the harder option, new beginnings. So you get to investigate, you get to choose an entirely new area to build a settlement and stronghold from scratch. You can investigate the area you choose, cleaning out any dangers, building or claim a settlement, create a stronghold of some kind in the area. Once again, Beldrondo will go with you because he's going to be your best friend throughout this. Now, since you must pay for the settlement and stronghold entirely from nothing, this is the longer and tougher start. It will be a bit of a longer get up and go trying to get this to work. However, it also means you may have a better starting location. You may have access to certain resources that the old abandoned village did not have as a shitty fishing village in the middle of nowhere. But you get an additional bonus artisan follower if you complete the quest this way.
Ooh.
So, discuss among yourselves, as I have mostly babbled on throughout the hour and a half we've been playing. Now it's time for you guys to take the reins a little bit. Discuss amongst yourselves where on this map, and anywhere within the highlighted area, like any of the non-darkened areas of the map is cool. If you really wanted to build in the desert, that's on you. But you can build anywhere on the map, and if you want to do the tough start. Otherwise, if you want to do the easier start, it's at the old village. And yeah, discuss what you want to do, where you want to do it, all things like that. I will say one more thing is the hexes I've just got them set up as days. Some terrain types may double the length of travel. It's not always readily apparent, but like a lot of these are forests and stuff.
I can't get rid of that.
Oh, you went to the measurement tools for it. There we go.
Yeah,
just stay in the selection tool, and there's a measure distance one in there.
Yeah, I just clicked the wrong thing.
So you can see how many, like, roughly how many days of travel it takes to get from one area to another. But of course, as I said, it may take significantly longer depending on some terrains. So from getting from one side of the map to the other, you're looking at probably a good 1 to 2 months, or closer to the 2-month mark.
So this is just me spitballing here. Originally, I was actually all on board for clean out the trash and get the easy start. The free settlement is really hard to pass up. However,
Are we gonna, before you go too much further in this, are we gonna do this in character, or do you want to out of character discuss this?
I was just gonna out of character discuss it and like do move it in character.
Okay.
However, the bonus artisan is extremely hard to pass up. Like that is a huge
Yeah, that's a
boost.
solid incentive.
Well, I've always been for the hard beginning, and from a character standpoint, I'm still for a hard beginning. I think it pays off better, and my character will literally say, in character, he'll be like, "Why would I want to try to start a village someplace that's already failed?"
No, that
There's
is a
that.
fair point.
There's that, but there's also the fact that there's probably going to be other competition for that village.
Well, exactly.
We are not the only ones out and about here doing this.
No. And plus, it's a little too close to Refnel for my taste.
Well,
So yeah, that being said,
close isn't a terrible idea for the first,
yeah, I was originally all on board for the easy start. I am actually kind of leaning towards the harder start right now.
It also looks like we all kind of have the same idea just from me seeing the pings of the area that we all want to start in.
Pin Valley.
Yeah, this at least somewhere close to the mountains. There's a river there as well, so we have better access to resources.
This looks like a swampland up here, just at a glance.
It is sort of a mixture, like, because they'll let you know as you see on the map, because like the map, this is supposed to represent what you physically have, so it's not always a perfect representation as what's there, but they will let you know that the hidden valley towards the southern tip of it is more forested as you get towards there, but as you go more north, it's more wetlands.
I'm looking
Swamp.
at this hex here because the hex that my thing is starting in. I'm looking at that because it's got two rivers, it's got partial mountains and hills, it's forested, it's also right near this pass between these mountains where the lower Stone Pick Mountains and the Little Horn Mountains, there's a natural pass there.
Then we basically
That's-
work towards the sea at that point.
That's I mean that's from a logistical standpoint, that's just good.
Well, we'll let you know
Settlement
now
making.
the way the roads work is the roads are they're drawn basically through the center point between two hexes. So you can see
so yeah, so,
so
there's
Like that was a Catan.
the road would have to go like that, or
so
like
it would, well actually we could go to this one and then out. Because if we went from this lower one here, that goes through the center, does it not?
well, it would
or does it go
no,
center
'cause
to
you-
hex, center to
it
hex?
would be one this way, and then one this way, and then up that way, because you'd have to make two roads then. The way that works,
See,
basically, you can
see that.
carve a path, but it's going to be harder than if you were just to going through plains.
We can't see anything you're like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got myself hidden. You can see this now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so that would be one road piece, and then that would be the second road piece.
Okay.
Because you build them one section at a time between two hexes.
So you're saying there's not a pass through two sets of mountains?
It's not really an easy pass. Like you'd still have to pay the extra for being in mountains.
Okay. So
don't we-
there's no point in us
Yeah.
going down and then up. It would be more just straight across.
Yeah.
Why
But
not
yeah,
right up here?
yeah.
We have the same benefits, plus we're closer to the sea then.
Yep, I was just about to say the same thing.
We
not
have
less
mountain,
forest,
we have
but
two
more
rivers
fauna.
here. We have one river there. We have the sea day north.
Yeah, but that looks like a lot more.
Looks like more swampland.
Well,
That looks a lot more moist up there.
All right, then how about this side of the mountain?
Moist.
But even on the other side, like it's not a terrible thing.
All right,
It
if
might be a little bit extra work, but I mean, who knows what kind of resources
I
we'll
was
find in
thinking
the
right
swamps
here.
as well.
Alec, I was also looking at that.
Yeah, that's actually the spot I was looking at too.
I like this spot because it's
Either-
right by like a little lake here. It's right by
Yeah,
a mountain. It's got river.
Yep. I was liking that one because it's a confluence of a couple of rivers.
further from the sea, but otherwise I'm with you.
I like the idea of being closer to the sea again. We don't know what kind of resources are available. Even like we're worried about swampland, but we don't know what kind of things we might find there. If we're between three different environments that might be rich with materials that can help us in the long run. having us a little bit closer doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Here's, if I might throw out a proverbial feeler, if we start here, not only are we next to potentially iron-rich mountains and other minerals that we might need, we're next to two rivers and a lake, a forest, and we could potentially push into the hidden valley afterwards.
Yeah, and we can always use, like our ancestors did many ages before, we can always use these rivers to move stuff to the sea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
And also this, right by here, this one river here seems to cut through. Does that go through the mountains? Like through
No,
mountains?
no. As is true with rivers, rivers emit from mountains. So it's the mountains that make the rivers, really.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's like we set up here, we use the rivers as a semi aqua road, and we set up another camp up here to move trade goods out to the sea.
It would work as a good
And
trading
move by
post.
sea.
There, you.
Oh, here, let me move it again so they can hear you a bit better.
It'd work as a good trading post, and also you can set up a mill. Oh, thank you.
Yep.
You can set up a mill there, working off the river.
And
There was something else I
like
was
that,
thinking.
Yeah, I like that this hex has like water on. If we make it like right in here, we've got water flanking us on most sides in case anybody tries to come at us.
Well, and the fun thing is,
And then mountains at our back.
yeah, and then we can always, as was pointed out, we can always then decide which direction we want to branch out into as per additional settlements, nation making, whatever. But the fact that there's also this river up here in these mountains just to our north means that the same thing that holds for wood holds for ore, albeit not as much. We can float it down the river easier than we can move it over land.
That's true.
I'm going to be a log rider.
It'd be much easier. Yeah, it'd be much easier to move ore down the river from the mountains.
I mean,
than it would
from
be
either side.
land.
I mean, we. I really, like I said, I was also looking at this particular hex as well. I'm good with either side of these mountains here. This hex is really nice, as is the hex just to the other side of the mountains.
My only concern is without roads, going over mountains with supplies and whatnot is going to be like monumental.
So why do we have to go over? Why not go
right
around?
now.
Well, the whole point is that if we start on this side, we can then branch over as we build more. Is what I'm hearing. Unfortunately,
Going around will cost so much time, and we have to go through what appears to be swamplands.
Costs time, but also allows us to scout out the area. We don't know anything about this area.
well, that's
Rather-
looking at beachhead first, then scouting out.
Yeah, what you have with the map is basically what you get. Like, you are the forward scouts to the most part, except for there are towns and villages out there, but they're so isolated or xenophobic or whatever. You don't you just don't have any information. The Irenic milieu just doesn't know. Like, this map is they got from some fairly good sources and from magical scouting, but they don't know anything about the details.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this coast up here were so inviting and everything like that, why doesn't the milieu send boats with settlers? Why are they opting to expand this way?
That way
And-
the onus
and-
is
and
on us to
again,
do the
from-
dirty work.
Well, exactly. And again, from an in-character point of view, I'm a woodsman. I know the land, I don't know the sea. You ask me to fish, I'm not gonna know. I mean, yeah, I can spearfish, I can probably catch something on a line, but my whole thing is I'm more comfortable in the woods and the grasslands and the hills and the mountains. You try to put me near the water, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we're not any further from woods and trees being closer to the ocean either.
You do see that at least one other group does have a boat. So you're guessing at least one of the other groups is probably looking at settling somewhere on the coast, although it's a pretty massive coast. So for all you know, they could go all the way to the west.
This where you're looking at reminds me of Calgary, where I grew up. There's the mountains and then the foothills leading up to the mountains. But then there's this river. Now, there wasn't a river in Calgary. But yeah, there was. The Elbow River. It ended up being a trading post to begin with. But it grew very, very quickly.
The trick is
mainly because there was oil, right? A lot of American oilmen moved up there, and
we haven't discovered oil yet in this.
So we haven't discovered oil. But what I'm saying is, the location is very beneficial because we had the prairie to the right, we had the mountains to the left. You get pretty much good weather, although the winters can be kind of brutal. But it was, it's the perfect place to build.
So Jesse is also agreeing that kind of looks like the place.
I'm going to put down my vote for here.
Yeah.
I think.
The Three Rivers area.
I think that kind of looks it right there. All right. I'm going to put I'm not going to name it anything special right now, but I'm going to put a journal entry down. What do you want to just call it? What destination for now? And then.
Yeah, that's fine.
As you guys get closer and set places up and like actually name the area and whatnot, you can name it.
I don't know. I honestly kind of like the idea of Three Rivers.
Three Rivers?
I was going to suggest Hopsburg, but yeah, that's good too.
Okay, I will. Of course you were. Of course you were.
In the air.
Okay.
I haven't said much on the location, as that's not really my forte, but I am good with the naming and creative conventions with it. So, Three Rivers it is.
Oh shit. 1 second. Player notes. Nope. DM notes. Icon is size 32. Text is 18. I'm so glad I remembered. You actually make notes about what I'm choosing for everything. And then I'll just make it a book for now. We can always drag out a new icon later. Okay, so we temporarily have one for Three Rivers. Oop, I forgot to put in the center. 1 second. Center. In 32. Book. Okay, that's better. That's what I wanted.
It's all schmancy.
Depending on the availability, we could always just charter a boat down the river to there, get off just before we hit the old ruins, and then cut across the plains.
Well, it's assuming the water flows down this way.
That's why I was saying on the condition that we could charter a boat.
Again, put me on a boat, and I'm useless.
Well, you wouldn't be on a boat the entire way. I was just saying to get a leg up on the competition, as it were. Get farther down course.
A leg up on competition is we get out and we get going and we do what we're supposed to do, as opposed to trying to finagle a way that we don't understand.
And it's with this time as you're finagling that you are approached by the large, portly gentleman that in the future you are having an adventure with. As a large man comes up, and actually I'm going to Ariel Balderondo configure permissions, give you limited access so you can see his stuff. All right. Okay, so he didn't appear anywhere, but he is in the actors area under NPCs. If you want to hear, I'll temporarily giant Balderondo on the map. If you want to just have him to double click on so you can see him. As he comes up and he looks and he actually looks at you and goes, Greetings, adventurers. My name is Badrondo Gabir, and I am also looking for opportunities. I see that you are a very ragtag group, but this is the type that Badrondo likes. You are the types that have been shut on by the world and survived. I think Baldrondo could benefit as well as support you quite nicely. Baldrondo Gabir, which is me, is a merchant of certain abilities.
Jamie, while Baldrondo's talking, Jamie lifts his hand and catches like one of the serving folk attention and kind of like motions for them to bring out what he had brought in earlier, which has been cooking in the back. Especially since Baldrondo has sat down.
Okay. With that, as you signal them, they bring out this large turkey, like large turkey. It's still a normal turkey size, like it's not like a dire turkey or anything like weird like that. But it looks like someone, and by someone I mean one of the new members of your party, hunted this ginormously like wonderful turkey. Which they've thrown in some extra vegetables and pretty much for free as since they aren't gonna have to pay for your full meal. And you guys, whereas everyone else is sitting down and having some like stew from the common pot, your particular table, much to the envious looks of the other tables, sits down for an entire turkey dinner.
This looks like good eating.
Tila, despite her small size, actually puts away 2 full servings of turkey.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Make his neighbors asleep.
I'm not sure where she's putting it.
Oh yeah, turkey coma's coming up soon.
Feasts like these remind me of simpler times back home.
So, sorry to interrupt, Baldrondo, but I felt new friendship, we should break bread, or in this case, bones of this wonderful bird.
I mean, he's got a heaped plate of food and everything. He's like, and I don't want to do this because it's going to set my own trigger myself, but he's got like mouthful, it's sort of almost spitting on the table as he speaks, and he's like, it is all right, Baldrondo, get food, you can interrupt me, Baldrondo, with food anytime.
Thank you for the kind meal, even though it does make it feel as though I've got daggers staring into my back. Well, extra daggers staring into my back. As Tabitha just glances about the room.
There's definitely looks. Aside from the fact that you have the giant turkey, you're also, due to the fact that you are very, very mixed, ragtag, you have a bunny man, someone that's heavily like scarred and seen some shit, a nice little halfling. Like, you're a very odd looking group. You've just generally been getting sideline glances from the other groups, because the other groups tend to be a little more, I don't want to say themed, but cohesive in one way or another, whereas you're just a bit of everything. Mishmash of special snowflakes. Yeah. Baldrondo looking, he goes, if you wish, Baldrondo has a wagon and 6 horses to make your lives easier. And Baldrondo, assuming something bad does not happen where we lose some of it, not likely, Baldrondo has many supplies to bring with him.
So, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, what's the worst gonna happen? You know, you get shot with an arrow and we end up losing some.
Hopefully not.
Ahead of us. You know, that's unlikely to happen at all, right?
Well, as long as you are there to protect Baldrondo, I do not hear that there's much of problems with bandits or anything, so we should be fine.
Other than the ones who are making up some of the other group.
Do not worry about them. I'm sure they will be heading to different places than we are.
the western sky.
I'd rather not discuss that more until we're on the road, if at all possible.
He looks at the areas that you've kind of been pointing at, and I'm sure you've like made little marks in the maps and stuff, and he's like, oh, good choice, Beltarondo Lake. That would be good for plenty of resources, still accessible for trade, and you're on this side of the mountains, which means easy to get to Rafnel if we make road eventually, yeah?
Agreed.
Good.
Well, we're thinking of making it at least a starting point until we potentially pushed out either the Hidden Valley or back out towards the town.
What did I say about talking about it before we were on the road?
Nothing.
I just said we're not speaking any more of it until we're on the road.
Baldondo also did not
He
hear. Baldondo has turkey in his ears. I eat so much. What were we talking about?
Otto's gonna like lean to William and be like, I'm definitely going to be taking a horse. I cannot be near that schlubby man.
I'll teach you how to ride. No problem.
Well, I don't mind riding shotgun
Well,
out the way
Beldrondo.
and keep an eye on this guy.
Actually, I do believe it is not you that ended up riding shotgun.
Do what?
It's not you. You rode in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe if we're riding on a wagon, you said, I am trained to handle horse-drawn vehicles. Out of the lack.
Good. You shall ride. What is that new term they say? Baldondo thinks is shotgun.
Shotgun, blunderbuss, any sort of
Not one ride.
firearms that's firing a
I do not
multitude.
know these fancy terms these kids have today. Shotgun. Everything is on fleck. What is that?
Well, Beldrondo, you seem like a pretty fine and helpful individual. We'd be glad to have you along on our trip.
I think that's a napping time for.
No, of course, Baldondo gives nothing for free. But, although my prices may not be the best around, what other shops would you have, huh? And Baldondo has been out there before. I have contacts with some villages and wandering tribes and stuff. Baldondo, believe it or not, occasionally may even get new supplies. And when you are ready to build settlement, Baldondo knows how to get people and resources to do so. We just need to pay them.
Well, that sounds like a mighty fine idea.
It could be foolish for us to turn down such a potentially valuable friendship on both sides.
Well, yes. I mean, who else would buy his supplies that he's going to gather?
Exactly.
Some monopolies then.
And Baldondo will have the first shop in this new town that you're building. And not to mention anything that you find out there. There are many leftover things from even before the world crash out in the great expanse. Probably, if you discover treasures, you may want some coin for such treasures, and I could find buyers for such treasures.
Treasures do fetch a mighty fine price, especially if anything from before the world crash.
The Drondo thought of doing this type of expedition many years himself ago, but of course, you know, it is dangerous. As I said, things are left over from even before the world crash. There are monsters and artifact dungeons and all sorts of things that do not bode well for peaceful merchants without combat skills.
Especially ones who enjoy turkey.
I enjoy all food. You may not be able to tell thanks to my physique of wellness, but I enjoy a good meal from time to time.
I never
Well, you
would
know.
guess.
If this all goes belly up, we can at least eat him.
You joke, it's funny. She jokes, right?
Yes.
He just looks at Deela, and Deela's got a mouthful of turkey.
Mm. And I like how there was like a pause before you said yes.
Tabitha just gives a wry smile.
Good. More. He's like, good. You're not eat me. Have more turkey. And he like pushes more turkey towards you.
No one and nothing will be eating you if I have anything to say about it.
I'd rather be myself faster on the draw that way.
So with that, I do say, well, it is, afternoon, and they are providing us with a place to sleep tonight. Although Badrando will sleep in his wagon. I guess we start off first thing in the morning, huh?
Sounds like a plan.
Indeed it does.
All right, well, thank you for the meal, kind sir. Badrando Gabir, he was here for you. Remember him. Badrando Gabir's discount wagon prices. Slightly marked up. Yeah, I will see you in the morning, and we will go.
Badrando, been a pleasure. Have a good night.
And with that, he stands up, and despite the chair not being sentient, you almost swear you hear a sigh of relief just for a moment. You, with a settling of wooden boards, he walks through the place until he reaches outside and exits. Like I said, he is a very large man, although not very tall. He doesn't broach the 6 foot mark. He's 5 foot something on the taller end. He is almost as wide as he is tall.
Old school dwarf.
No, he's human.
I know.
He makes dwarves look ashamed at their rotundness. So yes. With that, is there anything particular you wanted to do in this village? Here, let me bring you. Actually, here, let me make it so you can travel freely between the villages. Well, area maps. Boop. All players. Boop. There. Now you have the ability to click on Moss Creek if you want to look at the village. Is there anything in Moss Creek you wanted to do before we fast forward to the next morning and you start traveling and all that good stuff? Is there anyone you wanted to talk to? The local, the natives, there's, the Criterion, the other groups that are going out. There does seem to be other individuals here that aren't part of groups that you don't think they're locals as well. You're not sure. Is there anyone you want to speak to in Moss Creek?
Is there any kind of like messenger or mail service type of a deal that's, anything like that?
Not that you're seeing here. It looks like it's been taken over to become the staging point for this expedition, but until that happened, this was just a fishing village.
Okay, there's nobody that ever goes between.
This quote-unquote inn/tavern that you in is the only building that has more than one floor, and it really was meant as more as like a central longhouse than anything else. Like they've just sort of hastily refurbished it to act as a like this town didn't have a tavern or inn. Never mind a messaging service.
Tabitha is going to indulge in some old bad habits and basically carouse about a bit with some of the flower guard, especially any of the half elves.
Okay.
Just tell old war stories and such.
Yeah,
complain about the gardeners.
Being a lower importance mission and whatnot, you don't get any of like the elite flower guards. Like there are like mixed blood flower guards here. One of the flower guards is actually even a dragonborn, which is rare, but it does happen. It's one of the only ways Dragonborn can become people, basically, in the eyes of the Orenic milieu. And they're willing to talk to you. They, except for they're sort of taking shifts. Like there's 2 duty shifts worth of flower guards. The ones that are off duty are willing to talk to you. They don't seem to recognize who you are per se, so much as they recognize the way you walk, the way you hold yourself, and then as you start speaking to them, it clicks that you were at least flower guard at one point, or worked with them at the very least.
I start using slang terms like gardener, aka drill sergeant, wilt marches, or wiltings, aka forced death marches, stuff like that for training.
Neat, I like that. Well, flower-based terminology.
I actually have a list in my head that I'm actually going to be sending to you. I forgot to send it to you earlier of just slang term ideas.
I like that. That's pretty cool. I will definitely be incorporating that into the world lore, most likely. And I didn't actually have any terms or even real rankings within the Flower Guard yet. So that's something we can fill out as we go. So that's what you're doing for the evening. You're just sort of carousing with the other Flower Guard there.
Yep.
You said this was like the Moss Creek is a fishing village?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind looking around for some fishing gear to take with us, like whether it be like fishing rods or nets. For when we're closer to the water.
Yeah, that's one of the few things they would actually probably sell here, come to think of it. So if we look... fishing tackle, I believe I had it under tools. How much does fishing tackle cost? Fishing tackle costs 1 silver piece. So if you wanted to add fishing tackle under your character sheet, if you wanted to just, I don't have a store set up for it, but if you just want to, if you did want to buy some fishing tackle, you could just subtract a silver piece and add it on.
I can remove a silver piece. Items are in the
compendiums.
Compendiums? Okay.
Compendiums, items 10%. You should be able to see tools.
Awesome.
And then, yeah, fishing tackles in there. Feel free to drag one to your character sheet if you want to spend the silver. Half your remaining money on some fishing gear.
You gave us an extra for being here early, so it's a freebie.
That's true. Yeah, you came early and you got some fishing gear. So that's Otto's sort of shopping around, talking with the fisher people and getting some gear and whatnot. Anyone else doing anything, or shall we?
If Tila's not needed, she's just going to eat and probably go to bed early.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's requesting anything of you per se. They don't really have a weaver, tailor, or even a store in town. Once again, this was just a tiny little fishing village. It looks like if they needed anything, they waited for a trader to come by or anything like that. At the very most, you might be able to talk someone into like maybe selling you like a old hand-me-down cloak that Grandpa used to wear, but it's kind of been half-eaten by moths. Okay, all right.
We can wait and see, and who knows? Beldron.
Actually, one thing I will do, since you have Beldrondo now, is I actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna unlock his store for you guys right now. Utility tokens? Shops and stash. That's what I needed. Okay. So you're not gonna have access to the stash right now, or the storage. Well, I guess you would store things in his wagon, so I will give that to you. All right, so I'm gonna give you all three. So configure permissions. So sell shop. These two you need to have ownership of. Stash you get ownership of for the storage, and Beldrondo's store you get observer of. So if there is anything in Beldrondo's store, you can buy it. It's on the main page. I don't even remember what he had. It was semi-random. Yeah, just double click on Beldrondo's store. And you can buy stack or whatever. That's everything he's starting with, and occasionally as you guys travel and he finds local travelers and villages and stuff, he will resupply. This is what he's got right at the moment. As you can see, his prices are not great. But there's no
there's
other.
Definitely a bit of a markup there.
Yeah, like three silver for a dagger.
Prices are about 50% more than they would be. Okay, but we are in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you want someone to hunt you a wolf to get you a wolf cloak, you've got a couple people in the party that can probably help you with that. Especially the guy that like practically has a coonskin cap. Like, Jamie definitely looks like the survivalist type that would do that. All right. So that's... Yeah, I'll let everyone just sort of peruse the store for a hot second if there's anything they want to buy, although you probably can't afford most of it anyways.
I don't think there's really anything we can buy at the moment.
You could buy a sling. The ammo, technically I'm making free, like you're buying it as for favors, it's just ammo, whatever. For the arrow and crossbolts at least. The firearm ammunition actually does cost money. But it's more of the fact that he only restocks so often, and it does have weight. So even if he restocked a bunch of it, you'd only carry so much anyways. And he's got some other things. So it is up to you guys.
I think I'm good. I'm good for now.
Okay. Yeah, there's not much you can afford, really.
How much is 0.75 GP? What would that?
7 silver, 5 copper. Think of a silver as if gold's $1, think of silver as a dime and copper as a penny. So if it's
And Electrum, well, we don't talk about Electrum.
And we don't talk about Electrum. What the fuck? But yeah, no, if 0.75 would be 7 silver, 5 copper. So you could only afford something that's 0.2 right now if you've got your 2 starting silver still, or 0.3 if you've got your 3 starting silver. So if
Electrum is a bastard coin. We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. It sucks that I can't just remove it entirely, but...
Another question. Do we want to just have each our own individual money and stashes and whatnot, or do we want to pool everything together?
Well, I don't really think we have... From a logistical standpoint, I don't really think we have space for each of us just yet to have.
Well, he will allow you guys to store stuff in the wagon if you want to store some stuff. So that's why I've given you access to the storage. Because his wagon's not full.
Yeah, I meant for individual storage. I don't see us there being enough space on the wagon for a.
I think he meant by individual storage, just like you carrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, other than that, I think we are good to go.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Let's go back to the Forgelands map.
Have a nice, hopefully peaceful sleep.
Okay. So, you guys, your destination over at Tree Rivers is, I haven't even looked at how long that is. So following this along, let's see here. These are plains, which is nice and easy. It gets a little more difficult there, so attack on an extra, say, 2 days on that. Then this gets difficult, so an extra 4 days. So it's going to take about 18 days to get there. And that's if you go through the plains up here. If you skirt closer to the river, it's actually more of forested areas. I'll let you know. It'll end up. I mean, either way, it's going to take you about 18 days to get there, unless you can find a boat.
Not going to risk it.
Skirting the river might not be a terrible idea, just to stay near the forest and near some game, and ideally, I'm assuming the river is it fresh water?
Yeah, it's coming from the mountains.
Then yeah, that would keep us near fresh water as well for the majority of the trip.
Oh, you got to build the village first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to finish building the village. Once you complete the quest, then you'll get it. Check Discord. Oh, have I been getting DMs? Oh, I've been getting DMs from a bunch of people. Never check.
Oh.
Mr.
Well, I guess we should set quest new beginnings to active or in progress or whatever it is, right? That's a thing now.
Nope.
We have a quest log.
Yes, I've got like a few dozen quests already made up. All right. Moved quest to new folder and gave it new status active. Oh yes, you guys activated one of the quests.
In progress.
I mean, we have picked a hex to settle in.
Yep, so it's just now traveling too.
So you have activated the New Beginnings starting quest. Yes, you'll get the bonus artisan and writ of local title as soon as you make a settlement and build a level 1 stronghold of any type within that settlement. The cheapest being an establishment, which would be like, you know, like a tavern or a shop or something like that. They're called strongholds, but they're not always actually strongholds. That's just the naming convention that Matt Colville made when he wrote the book.
Yeah.
They could be
almost like a general store, like a merchant would use.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. And as you get artisans, one of the cool things about the artisans is when you attract an artisan to your village, they make a level 1 version of their shop for you. You don't have to pay for it.
Oh, that's so good.
When the artisan will literally come and set up shop. If you want to upgrade it, you got to pay for it. But if an artisan is attracted to your village, like as you start upgrading the settlements and you attract more random things, and if it happens to be an artisan, the artisan sets up shop for you. You don't have to pay for it.
Nice.
And different artisans do different things. Gets you different resources, offers you make certain magical items for you, can make you other items, maybe unlocks things like opens a store with better prices, things like this. So yeah, good shit. Anywho, so in the morning you get together, you meet Baldrondo at his wagon with his mounts there. And you know you have roughly 2.5 weeks of travel ahead of you. It's faster if you go through the plains, technically, but it's a longer distance, which makes it the same time really as if you skirt the river, which is through denser forest, which slows you down, but it's a slightly more direct route. So either way, it's going to take you about the same amount of time. Now you guys have decided, I believe, to follow the river for the extra shelter, chances at game, things like this, right?
Fishing, small game, all that stuff.
Excellent. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring you on the first week here, and we're going to do the checks on, I'm not going to do weekly. I'll just do 2 checks, I think, for this one, for this particular travel. So, we're gonna make it about there. You're currently traveling through the Fairy Woods, and you're following along the river. Now, travel and rest. Here's another new thing that we're doing. And you still have access to the store within here as well. So when you're traveling and resting, this is what we're doing. I'm dealing with travel and resting instead of just like roll percentile. Yes, you get attacked by goblins. We're doing it as an action challenge.
Okay.
Depending on the terrain or what's happening in the local area, how many successes you need, and the DCs, you can tell me what you're doing. One of the things that's not part of the action challenge, and actually removes you from participating in the action challenge, is if you are collecting food and water for the party. Otherwise, you need to consume 1 ration from your pack for every day of travel. Now, I know you didn't say you were in there, Jamie, but I kind of assumed that you're there. I just kind of put you there. Were you regularly going to be one, since you automatically do it, it just takes you time. Were you going to be supplying food and water?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And actually, because I am a ranger, I actually provide twice as much as normal.
Oh, do you? Okay, so in that case, you provide enough for everybody. You see,
yes.
As whenever you're traveling with Jamie, you don't have to worry about the rations and the food and the water and hunting and stuff like that. I mean, the water's easy. You're traveling along a river. In some situations, your auto gathering may not always work. Like I am going to say, if your guys are in the deep desert, Jamie, your ability to naturally get food and water is probably going to involve an actual check and not be automatic.
Yes.
Although I will still give you the chance. But you are in a lush forest near a freshwater river. Like, food practically jumps into your mouth. So you're good. But the way we're going to do this is we're going to do an action challenge. I'm just going to, instead of like everyone saying what order they're doing and everything, I'm just going to go through the list from left to right in the order that I had you on the main page. And basically just tell me what you're doing for the camp. Like, are you setting up or helping to set up the camp and maybe disguising it so others can't see it? Are you helping to gather supplies for it? Are you maybe one of the ones keeping watch that night? Or like what other interesting things? Maybe you're providing entertainment to the camp so that travel goes well, because it's not always just what you do at camp, but during travel as well. If you get 3 fails, your chance of something bad happening, not necessarily an encounter, but something bad happening, is exponentially higher. However, if you get the number of successes needed, then most likely the travel or rest goes by without a hitch. Sound good?
Yep.
Yep. I can actually help with the stealth stuff.
Okay, well, first
So
I'm going to start with Jesse. Jesse, you're first.
I'm going to gather firewood
You're gathering.
and build a fire.
Okay. So we're going to say Jesse. Don't
Sorry
be
to
distracted.
interrupt, Jesse, but I should be able to take care of campfire easy enough with magic.
Well, the thing is, it only lasts
Don't forget you.
a minute or
Don't forget
something,
you
right?
still need fuel to keep burning.
Well, then firewood, yeah.
Fire's not a
Yeah,
problem.
you still need the wood. Like you'll start the fire, but you don't want to like spend every minute recasting it, and then you need a source for the fuel. So firewood is probably a good idea.
Okay.
So collecting camp resources. We'll say.
Yeah, because create bonfire only lasts for a minute. So unless you have some fuel there to burn,
Yeah,
it's
and then
going
what are you
away
going to
after a
do at
minute.
night, as it is still like late winter, early spring? So it's going to be a chilly night if you're not there to cast it.
Are you asking?
No, because he was offering to cast bonfire, but he'd have to recast the spell every minute. Jamie, you're not in it because you have a task already.
Yep.
And if you ever just want to say you're not providing the food, you can be part of the action challenge.
Everyone starves this week.
I'm so hungry. Jamie, stop setting up tents. Go get us food. Jorah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be the, putting up camp, putting down camp, the,
Camp setup.
physical labor end of things, yeah.
Otto.
I mean, my minion and myself are gonna help towards keeping resources going. I can maintain the fire, and I can have like a satyr just run around and continue to grab firewood throughout the night.
Okay. So
Honestly, you said you had a satyr. I'm going, ooh, is there going to be matzo balls?
camp resources. Now your satyr, that's one thing I meant to ask. I actually completely forgot about your satyr. Did you already have your satyr with you, or was this something you summoned after you left town? And if it's something you summoned after you left town, what does your ritual for summoning your minion involve?
AFK just a sec, guys. I'll be
Sure.
right back.
I probably would have summoned the satyr outside of town as to not raise any more attention to myself than I already garner.
Okay.
And the ritual, I mean, he'd probably try to be as private as possible with it, but the ritual very much looks like it almost looks like painful concentration. Like, it's not just meditation, but it looks like it's almost hurting him mentally, like almost like giving him a bad migraine as he's trying to push the focus on it.
Okay, so a less extreme version of a DBZ character powering up.
Yeah.
Okay. Tila.
So Tila, like, when we're coming into like stop for camp, she'll point out what's best area to camp, like what has most cover or something like that, what's close to water the horses. Pretty much, she's pointing out the best spot, and once that's done, you don't hear from her again.
Sleeping.
Okay, so you're helping to direct the camp then?
Yeah, so essentially, where's the best place to set up camp?
Oh, okay. Oh, where's the best place to set up camp? Okay, so yeah, you're scouting for spots. And this isn't just camp. This is also when you're traveling as well. So if someone wants to do something for helping to travel, then you can also say that as well.
Okay.
So we're just gonna say you're scouting. Okay, so William.
Right, so that's kind of what I was going to say. Admittedly, he's going to ride out ahead and make sure there was nothing out in front. But if someone else is already scouting, then I could say instead at night when we set up camp, William's going to get a really nice crow's nest, find the right tree that's easy to climb, bust out some branches so he's got a clear field of view of where he thinks danger would approach, and he's posting up inside the tree.
Okay, so you're generally keeping watch.
Indeed.
All right, and Wither.
Well, actually, keeping watch is what I was also going to do. I will, I guess, take the latest. Well, actually, no one's done a self-check, so I'm going to essentially try to minimize our presence.
Okay.
So whether that's calming down the horses or setting up tarps, blind spots, thickets, stuff like that.
Just trying to make yourselves, and this isn't just when you're camping, remember, it's also when you're traveling. So you're just generally trying to make yourself as least obtrusive to the surrounding environment as possible.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, let's start with, and don't worry, in the future, like I'm gonna flip-flop it in the future, so next time we do travel and rest, Wither's gonna go first and Jesse will go last. This way you're not always stuck on the end.
Yeah. Oh, and after that, Wither will actually also help keep watch, especially once.
Well, you only get one action. It's just sort of your role that you're doing over a week of travel, camping, etc.
Oh, okay. Not just this one.
What's up?
Specific.
Who's cooking? You're probably just basic cooking. Normally, I had in the rules if you cook, you would stretch the rations to basically double. The thing is that your hunter-gatherer guy is already providing more than enough food. So
Yeah, but who was?
well, everyone knows the basics of how to semi-burn meat on a fire.
Okay.
I have
okay.
cook's utensils as well.
Oh, and so you have cook's utensils. Do you have proficiency with them?
Not yet.
Okay, so you've got the basics. You can cook. You've got he's got I think it comes with a pot and some basic utensils and stuff. So you can cook. It may not taste great. And Baldrando himself, he's got maybe some extra spices he throws in now and again, but he also doesn't know how to cook. Yeah. So your meals are not stellar. I will give you that. But you're fed. You're well fed. You've got plenty of water. You're good. So Jesse, collecting camp resources, I'm going to say that is a survival check. Makes sense. So skill, well, you can click on in the actors tab, open pieces. Oh, never mind, it was open. Yeah, click on open your character. Oh, click on the name, not the... Yeah, and then survival's click on that. Yeah. Nope, you clicked once.
Dear.
You did good. Oh.
Is no.
No, +3, 6. Okay, so Jesse standing there in the middle of the woods. Jesse can't for the life of her find the wood that you need for a fire. She collects wood, but much to your chagrin, and you're not sure why you keep giving her this task over and over the course of the week, but much to your chagrin, Jesse keeps collecting bad wood or wet wood or just wood that's not very suitable, or sometimes just has a hard time finding suitable amounts of wood, or she'll be like, I've got enough wood, and it's just a tiny little armful in her halfling arms. So unfortunately,
we keep giving her the task because she's got to learn this. Damn it!
That's right. We're teaching you. So unfortunately, that's going to be one fail. So good so far. Jorah, you're doing camp setup. Just generally helping to set up the camp. What do you think would be the role tied to this one?
It's just basically general like manual labor, athletics, or even just a straight up strength check.
Athletics. I'll give you athletics. Try not to tucker yourself out over the course of the week. Just basically doing labor for the camp. With that, you done good. And we get one success. Yep. So you get one success. So not only are you doing labor helping to set up camp, but generally you're helping with manual labor throughout the travels as well. If the wagon gets a little stuck, you help push it out. And Jorah always seems to be there. He seems tireless and quite strong for his size. And he's always willing to pull the wagon out of the muck or help pull the forces through or lift something out of the way of the path, etc., etc. Through general physical labor, he has helped out quite a bit. Otto.
Used to that from life on the farm.
Life on the farm. Otto, camp resources. So you were also doing much the same thing for collecting resources for the camp over time. So I guess that would be another survival check.
Okay. And because I'm using the satyr to do the busy work, am I using its wisdom or mine for the survival check?
I'll give you the choice.
Okay, so definitely the satyr, because it doesn't get a minus. So this is just a straight D20 roll, and it's terrible.
So it's a cold couple.
So both of the people that were supplying extra supplies that weren't food and water for the camp, reinforcements for the tents, firewood, helping to lay things out in the path if it's an extra muddy path for the horses to get through, things like this. Both of them are all the suck sores right now and not doing well. Just 2 fails. It is a DC 10. Your guys' rolls tonight.
They don't get anything to that roll. Your satyr, right?
It just
no, it's got a 10 wisdom, so it was a straight roll, but it was still better than mine because my wisdom is less right now.
Yeah. Tila, you are scouting. I'm going to assume with the scouting, you're scouting. So you were scouting ahead. Sorry, you were scouting ahead for good places for the camp to set up and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Looking at the land. Where's the land level or stuff like that? Where's closest to water?
Okay, so not only are we scouting for places to set up, but also like good paths for traveling and whatnot. I'm going to say that's probably an investigation. As you're trying to piece together the puzzle of like where you're going, where you need to go, where's a good place to set up, things like this. And if ever I suggest a skill and you don't agree and you think another skill would be better, feel free to suggest it. I'll ignore you, but feel free to suggest it.
I was going to say survival could also work too.
You were going to say what, sorry? Survival. Yeah, if you want to do survival, I'll give you survival.
Thank God, because I'm much better at survival than I am investigation.
I will give it to you. There you go.
Hey.
Oh, this is on the ropes. We're at 2 and 2.
Found premium spot.
Okay, all right. And if you guys, because I am going to go through everybody, if you guys manage to get more successes than what you need, sometimes there's a perk. I'm just letting you know. So William, you've decided to keep watch. You are keeping alert, not only at night when it is needed in case of dangers, but also while you're traveling, just during the daytime to make sure there's nothing like bandits nearby or some such. Perception check for me, please.
Fair enough.
Hey.
Attaboy, Will.
All right. As long as Wither doesn't mess this up, we should be good. So, No pressure.
It's all on Wes's shoulders.
So Wither, you're trying
Entirely
to
your fault,
minimize presence. You're trying to make it so that your party passes stealthily like ghosts through the night, so that any dangers within the fairy forest that you're traveling through do not affect you. So Wither, what do you think would be a good role for this?
I was thinking stealth.
Stealth? Yes. Stealth based off intelligence would make more sense, though, would it not?
Yeah, I think it might. So
Okay.
just -1 off of this check then, because that's the difference between my dex and my intelligence.
Do it up.
I am trained in this, but that hasn't saved me yet, so fingers crossed.
You're good. No.
Oh. So
I was
exactly what you need, since it's 1 off of that, you said.
Yeah, that's exactly 10.
Okay. You're good. You're good.
The dice gods like to make Wes sweat.
Yes, they
I
do.
could do like this.
Like the whole time from when you said roll it and the dice fell, I was holding my breath.
Okay. So with that, let's see here. So with that, you guys have traveled pretty much to the halfway mark. It's now that you're going to be going through the rest of the empty forest and some more open plains between the two branches of the rivers that you're going through, and then finally crossing into where Three Rivers should be. So we're going to move you there, right over top of Three Rivers. And we're going to go back to travel and rest, and we're going to do this all over again. Now, this time, as you get into the Three Rivers area, this area is a little more lost and dangerous and things. It's a little less traveled, a little harsher of an environment. Whoops, nope. 12, not 23. So we're going to change the DC. The DC is now 23. Enjoy level 2 characters. Okay.
Why isn't there a flip table button?
So we're going to do much the same thing, but this time the DC is a little bit higher. Not extreme, so I mean, you are only level 2 characters. I'm not going to give you like 18 DC. Plus, you don't have any issues with like civil unrest or armies in the area or anything yet. So we are going to start with Wither. During the course of this week and a half of travel, as well as for setting up camps during the travel, what are you doing to assist the group during the travel and rest?
Well, I minimized our presence last time, so this time I'm going to
Maximize it.
You know, actually, that might work as a deterrent. But no, actually, I'm going to be on watch.
Watch, okay.
Especially night watch, because I can actually see farther than I can shoot.
Okay. Damn, I was gonna have you roll a perform check for the maximized presence. Okay.
Actually, I was thinking if it was going to be that one, it was going to be intimidate. But yeah.
Hello, Stu. William. What would you like to do?
I think Williams, because the terrain is rough, I'm going to find a better path. My animal handling skills to find the best ways.
Do you want to use your animal handling to help the mounts through the rough paths and everything? Rachel, you always find the right way to lead the animals where they are feel more confident and sure-footed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, assisting animals. Got it. Tila. What you doing, girl?
So through the thick, uncharted forest that we're traveling through, you know, people are going to get injured, cuts and bruises are going to happen. So I'm going to make sure everyone's well tended to.
Okay.
Make sure nobody's got like infections going or
Tending to wounds and health of the party, which would keep up their speed and make it so that it's less likely you're going to fall behind and it would take you longer, and then you're more times in danger. Got it. Otto.
I'm going to kind of switch course here and try my hand at using performance to cook better meals.
Well, you can really use performance to cook better meals.
No.
Unless you're gonna sing it a song, but I don't think that really cooks the meal. You could do performance to keep up the morale of the camp, but for cooking the meals, it would be proficiency with the cook's utensils, or it would just be with the cook utensils.
What if your character's Mary Poppins?
That's a bit different.
Poppins in this case.
So if you want to do cook's utensils, I would say that's probably intelligence or wisdom. I'd give you the choice, whether you're just relying on advice from grandma, or you actually know recipes and stuff, or if you want to keep up the morale, then you could do a performance.
Make a slight suggestion.
I wouldn't mind.
Performance.
Oh, what's that?
Well, I was just thinking the cook feat itself grants a bonus to either Constitution or Wisdom, so possibly Constitution might also help as an alternative.
I don't really see. The Constitution is because you're constantly eating things and you've gotten used to it. Constitution is an active skill. I don't really see. All right.
No, I was just thinking some time.
Unless he's baby birding you all of the food that he's cooked, or mama birding it to you, in which case it's a Constitution, because the vomiting that much hurts.
I think it'd be a Constitution for all of us to keep it down too.
Oh God, why'd we go there? So Otto, what would you like to do?
I guess I could try my hand at boosting morale, telling some bard's tales I've heard and old stories I heard in the bigger cities.
Campfire songs.
So over the course of the week, as you're dragging on, and the first week was tough. You barely made it at one point, so boosting morale is probably not a bad idea. So Jorah, what you doing, Mr. Farm Boy?
I'm gonna stick with my just general set up, tear down, general labor, type of deal.
All right, be in the muscle. Jamie.
I am looking for water, then food this week.
Oh, you're gonna switch it up, right?
I am.
And finally, Jesse.
I am going.
You're determined to learn how to get supplies to the camp. Okay.
Just learned much last week.
And I will say, as long as one person keeps watch, that's good. If no one decides to keep watch over the course of travel and rest, then if you do get ambushed, there's a good chance it's going to be a surprise. I just made up that rule now because I think it's cool, and that's what we're doing.
Makes sense.
I mean, I planned it. So, Wither, we're going to start with you. You decided to keep watch over the week and a half of travel that you've been doing. You were here, yeah.
Hold in my tongue and
I've run with bigger. I've had 12 person. Actually, I had a 23 person group one time, Saber. So, that's not great.
No, it's not. It's one of my highest skills, and it sucked.
So not only has Wither had issues spotting some basic things, at one point Wither's oh god, that was a clear day, and meanwhile Jamie's there were 2 wolves trailing us for an hour, but okay. But at one point you even fell asleep during watch, so that's a fail.
Yep.
Your rolls, dude. Why always you?
Right.
Right.
I know.
William.
Do they train you in the flower?
Oh, that hurts.
Oh
no. Okay, so William, you're helping to guide the animals into deep puddles because you're oh, those are rocks. That's not a good idea. This is nice, smooth, and flat. The reason it was smooth and flat as you were traveling is because liquid mud settles smooth and flat.
Oh yeah.
So you caused some issues. Your travel has not been great so far. You guys are all over the place. So, Tila, tending wounds and health of the party. They probably need it as they're slowly getting nibbled at and beginning like they're spending time in the mud getting the wagons out and shit. So medicine check.
I just imagine William's like, wolves are falling. I can take care of them. Hey, puppy.
So yeah, I'm thinking medicine. Oh, there you go. Whew. I was worried for a second. Still worried. So, despite all of what's going on, Tila's managing to keep you physically healthy. Let's see if Otto can keep you mentally healthy, because Otto is boosting your morale. He's telling jokes. He's getting you marching songs. He's generally like trying to keep the morale and the hope of the party up in this long ass journey.
Tabitha reserves the right to make the funny man dance if he doesn't roll good at this. And by dance, I mean tap dance, because she'll be firing at his feet.
You can try. What are they going to do for you? You all right? All right.
This would be the perfect time to do it, because I'm not going to be hitting anything with my perception check.
It doesn't matter. He blew you out of the water, despite you failing at everything.
Something glass houses.
Yeah.
I keep hearing it from the person that rolled 8.
Otto, you get the jokes going on, and generally just when you see people struggling, you find a way to make a game out of it every time. You even invent this game in your head that it would unfortunately normally involve like a 20-sided die or some sort of dice or something, but you think you've got a way that you can get people to interact as like weird, crazy fantasy characters living in large cubic buildings dealing with shuffles of paper and stuff. Jorah, you're being the muscle, and you're probably going to be well needed due to the fact that, yeah, you've been getting stuck in the mud a lot. You're going the wrong directions. You're just having a tough time of it.
Here goes nothing.
Athletics, there you go.
Oh, 19.
Once again, we're at the same situation. Last person, will this be a failure or will this be a success? You're either going to succeed with style or you're going to sort of match it and fail. And so, Jesse, you're trying to supply camp. I'm going to say that's probably a survival again.
Yep.
That's a fail.
Oh, so close.
Excellent. Okay.
From hell.
I'm okay with this. So give me 1 second here. I'm just gonna quickly shove everybody back to the
like
main.
That must be for community. I just went out for the pizzas, man. Just went out for the pizza.
I love that episode so much. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. We don't really need Moss Creek up there anymore. Okay, so I brought y'all back here for a second as I set something up for just 1 second, because you are going to trigger something. What time is it actually? Oh shit. Okay. Actually, here I'm gonna get. Who did I have do it last time? Otto.
It was
I'm gonna do this. So 1, 2, 3. Tila, I would like you to roll a d4 for me. You're gonna determine the fate of the players.
Sweet.
2.
Middle of the road.
Okay. Oh. So, this works well to the fact that you led people to the wrong places and getting stuck areas and stuff like this. So give me 1 second here. And paste you right here. Let's get some of these in. Say down there. Sure. Let's get the party in. As a random encounter is sparked. So we need Eldrondu. Jesse. Hila's there. I'm not going to bother bringing all the horses in. I'm just going to throw you guys on the ground here for the moment. Otto. And you. Okay. All right. And while you guys are loading in, I will get everybody in a combat chart. Except Beldrondo, because he's got nothing.
Oh, that's big.
So,
Come on, Beldrondo.
as you guys are traveling along, once again, you haven't been paying attention. You didn't notice the wolves following you again. You kept getting stuck in the mud, so you took a wrong direction. And next thing you know, you're at the river, and it doesn't look like it's an easy place to cross. There's too much shit in the way. When big wolves suddenly come out of nowhere. Let's switch over to some combat music. And yeah, so everyone feel free to roll your initiative in the combat tab.
So that's the
Combat
the
music.
fist second one.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. And then we can begin. So here we are. And then if you want,
You can click back to the main tab there. Yes. The one over. Or on that one. There you go. That way you can see rolls as they come up.
okay. So, all right. So out of nowhere, you're suddenly ambushed. Now, even though he didn't do great, you did have someone on watch. I'm not going to say you're completely surprised. So everyone's still going to get their normal shit. But you are ambushed out of the blue. And starting, you've got this dire wolf coming in. Now, before we start, did anyone want to rearrange where they would have been as they were walking? And why? Oh, that's your satyr, right? I was like, what the fuck? Yes. Why is Meepsig here? Yeah. Yeah, that's the satyr. So yeah, feel free, move yourself. Like, I'm assuming you'd be near the wagon. I didn't feel like copying and pasting the horses over, so.
So we are mounted or we are not?
What's that?
We're mounted or we are not mounted?
You're probably taking a break from the horses. You saw this river approaching, so you probably dismounted to take a look.
Okay.
Might I be not with the group because I am still out foraging, but I happen to, because I can't be caught unawares well in the wild, I happen to notice these wolves stalking something, and I'm like, what are you guys up to?
Yeah, I'll give that.
That they're stalking my people, so I want to be able to get the jump on them.
That makes sense to me. You were definitely the experienced hunter in this case, so yeah, I'm up for that. Does anyone else have a special place they need to be, or are they all pretty good?
Nope. Right where I want.
I would have been keeping relatively near Jesse and Tila here.
Mm-hmm. All right, perfect.
The one thing was I was going to ask is, can I have cast my Find Familiar prior to this?
Oh yeah, you've been traveling, like, this is like as you're approaching Three Rivers. You've been traveling the better part of a month. Like, it's been 18 days, so you definitely do you have the material components for it?
Oh, true. Was it 10 gold points worth of charcoal incense?
Well,
not yet.
It's 1/10, so it's 1 gold, but yes, it's one gold of gold. Incense.
No, so not yet.
Okay.
I will need to procure that first.
All right, so in that case, you've got your minion at least. You're with your summoner goodness. So we're going to start. The dire wolf is going to come in, and I mean, he's more than more than fast enough.
Not exactly far.
You don't have to worry about pack tactics. He just gets one attack, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and here, I'll also, for funsies... Where are you? Yes. Here's the picture I used for the direwolf. It's like, that looks badass.
Oh, damn.
So target you, and here we go. First attack roll.
I mean, I didn't see a picture pop up, but oh, there it is. It was just delayed.
It took a hot second. Sorry about that.
Considerable delay.
I mean, I can see the face, so that's cool. Oh, it hit me. So piercing damage, that's fine.
And a strength saving throw. I'm assuming that's some sort of trip.
Really?
Yep, you are knocked prone. You'll forgive yourself the prone condition.
Yup.
And I will pass on
double check
the turn.
Prone. There we go.
Jamie the Outlander. There can be only 5.
Yeah. Okay. Jamie's just gonna pop out here from behind the tree. As a bonus action, I'm gonna mark this direwolf as my my prey.
He is marked. I really gotta make a temporary condition for that afterwards. He's marked. I'll remember it.
And I'm then gonna shoot at him.
Beep, beep. Oh shit. Yeah, that's a good hit.
And then he will take an additional 6.
Oh shit. Nice. All right. That was a good hit. That was a large chunk off of that direwolf. So with a bang and some smoke, you can hear Jamie's slightly further into the woods there, shoot at another one, and you hear the crack, and then they have this large beast. Tabitha.
Remember, I need the pelt.
Oh, she wants the pelt. Make me a cloak.
I mean, we'll definitely harvest the wolves afterwards for stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tabitha is going to respond to the first wolf she sees, which is the one that came barreling out and attacked Jorah. Unfortunately, he's on the ground, so he's not exactly messing up my shot.
I forgot to click the things to give them the funky names. I would like a fashionable wolf, please.
Can I get a coquettish wolf, please? Yeah. So yeah, I will level my. Basically, I stand from where I was sitting in the cabin box, whatever area it's called. Words. And as I stand, I draw my pistol with one hand, and the other hand at my side makes a series of hand gestures as I stare intently at it. So bonus action, I cast Hex.
All right. Wither starts flashing all sorts of gang signs, and all of a sudden the wolf seems a little bit weaker to her.
And I'm going to say strength is the thing I'm going to curse.
Makes sense.
Also helps Jorah get up a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right. So yep.
Well, if he gets grappled or whatever. Damn.
Get them bad rolls out now.
Yeah. Well, that's not my. There's no attack on that one.
Oh, okay. That's the hex. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. It's auto hexed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just assuming that you're making an attack roll with it. I guess. Weird.
I guess so. Yeah.
Must be programmed weird.
All right. Now you can make the real attack. Then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And just had to turn on the hex and.
There we go. That's better. Poof.
9 piercing.
Combat music just got really loud for some reason.
Oh yeah. What combat music you listening to?
Just something on YouTube. Fantasy music, daydream mix.
Mine just switched to something from Pillars of Eternity. Nice.
It's actually not very combating. It's more like fantasy woodsy. So.
Tila.
Teal will kind of sit up and notice big wolves. And like, oh, All right. Well, I think I can take care of them, and pretty much targeting the one wolf there.
Ooh, fairy fire. Yeah, just putting it behind it. Nice. Okay. All right. All right. That is a dex save. That's big old nope.
So he's all glowy.
He's all glowy. Okay.
And I get my movement and a bonus action. So I get to here.
I made
And I
him
just
pink.
drag it onto my character.
Drag what onto your character? What?
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Oh, you're doing that, yeah. Just find what you want. Just not your character sheet. You gotta bring up your character sheet and drag it on there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, why did it close it?
Oh, try moving up a space.
Yeah, now bring up your character sheet and drag it on the character sheet and hit the wild shape.
It might have undid it because there wasn't enough space.
That could be. I didn't even... That's pretty cool if it automatically does that. Yeah, it looks like that's what that did. That's pretty cool that that's programmed in. Foundry, you amazed me again.
So these wolves are like growling and whatnot, and all of a sudden Tila drops down, turns into a giant bear, and lets out a huge roar. Just silencing their growl.
There we go, my fellow tank.
All right, so that was your action, bonus action. You done, I do believe. Jesse, Jane.
Okay. Bow and arrow, I'm at the wall.
Okay.
Where,
So what we can do, we've got us selected. Hit Q. Oops. Okay, so you know what? It'll be easier if we don't target. We're just gonna go. You don't have to go in the inventory. You can close this. You can. Okay, so you can go to inventory here. Click on the item you want, short bow.
You have advantage.
No. So in our roll, the first tab here. Nope, first. Gotta roll it.
I'll set it up so it auto rolls it for you in the future.
Here. Yeah, click it.
There, oh my gosh. Okay, she doesn't.
You have to need the advantage.
She had advantage. She didn't need it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and you do get your sneak attack.
So yeah, now click those numbers there.
You just did have a fireball as a level 2 character.
Oh God.
Rogues. Okay.
don't mess with
Bam. So that was with a short bow. So like, Jesse Jane just takes out this fairly small bow, and with like needle like precision just takes out like the eye of the wolf, and like does a huge amount of damage.
the brain.
Well, it's not dead yet.
Yeah, because she rolled subpar on her damage, but amazing.
Yeah, but maybe it's got a little bit of Dane damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of the 4d6s were 1s.
So Direwolf's turn. Let's see here. There's some trees there. I'll go here. Reach 5 feet. Okay, so he can't quite reach you. You know what? Fuck it. He's gonna go up to the bear then. The bear's the most accessible because he can't quite get through those trees without going around.
Oh, thank the gods.
And Like I was thinking the horses were tasty, but there's a big old bear, and the dire wolf's gonna deal with the big problem first. So bear first. So
That's such a cute bear picture too.
I saw it and I'm like, that's the bear. So you take 6 damage and you gotta roll a strength save.
It's a Coca-Cola Christmas
bear
polar
fast.
bears if they were grizzlies instead.
I know, right?
That bear looks wise.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. What is even the DC of the strength save?
I don't know.
Oh, it is
just asked me to
13.
roll.
Yeah. Okay, you made it. You made it. Okay, so you are not knocked prone. It would have been difficult for it anyways. You're a big ass bear. So speaking of on the ground, Jorah.
Jorah's less than thrilled, so Jorah's gonna spend his, chunk of movement to get up from prone.
Mm-hmm. So 15 of
Bonus
movement.
Bonus action. I'm pissed because a bear tried to eat me.
Wolf.
Rage.
The wolf tried to eat me.
Don't correct him, he's pissed.
Maybe he doesn't know they're wolves. He's like, damn bears.
And then this is happening.
God!
Oh.
Alrighty then.
Oh,
God damn.
I'm gonna make Liam Neeson proud.
That was a really good hit. That was max damage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, actually that should be 2 higher. I forgot to add the
He's
toggle rate.
dead, Jim.
Just got up, got pissed off look on my face and cave in his skull.
I know giant strength dice rolls when I see it.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
So yeah, Jorah stands up and just like, literally knocking the jaw off of the wolf in front of him as it collapses onto the ground.
you punched him like Conan punched a camel.
Oh yeah, okay, so that was your some of your movement, your action. Doing anything else? If not, pass it on.
I'm just gonna make sure I'm between that wolf and
because they're such big corpses, I'm leaving the corpses there because it's actually difficult for you to get around.
Also, soft cover. Soft, fluffy cover.
Yeah. So Otto Von Hops.
Otto's gonna look just kind of like, almost like he's like just perturbed with the situation. He's gonna sigh and snap his fingers and cast Create Bonfire on the wolf there.
Okay.
No, you're supposed to kill them before you cook them.
It made the save.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And then he's gonna like scoff and look over at Meepsig and just kind of like nod over to the wolf.
Did
Like,
you
"Go do your
legitimately
job."
summon Meepsig?
Yeah.
But don't forget, the fire stays there.
Yep.
Or in one of those squares anyway.
Here, let's
So yeah, Meepsig.
say like you probably had the fire there.
Like front right corner.
You should be able to move
right
it.
beside.
If you want to move it,
hold on.
go for it.
Yeah, right there. Where did my stuff go? There we go.
Is this Meepsig a horrible lush?
Yes, same Meepsig.
Hello, I'm here for things.
I just pulled her out of nowhere.
Do you think
Because I needed a drinking buddy.
DM by making one of your class features one of his previous
She
characters?
escaped the city, and this is where she ended up.
He
You totally can do that.
started it, okay?
Okay, what are you
Ken
making?
started it as soon as he made it the picture.
What are you making Meepsig do?
I'm gonna have her get as close as she can and fire a short bow
Do it.
attack at it.
You should have ownership of her.
Yeah, I'm gonna have her move like right behind Jorah there. And if she is she obscured by that tree? Is that like a full tree or is it a stump?
I'm gonna say that it has half. Well, no, it's a big creature. It doesn't have any cover. There's a whole square that she can see, so it's fine. However, there is a person between them, so it does have half cover because Jorah's there. So it's going to be.
Does that mean
it's going to get its AC is going to be 2 higher? I'm going to say basically.
AC is going to be 2 higher? Okay, cool.
Although that doesn't matter. Still hits.
Perfect.
And pass it off when you're done.
Yep.
William Obadiah.
All right. William's gonna hustle up, move on top of the. Oh, I can't drag it. Oh, I see.
You got the wrong tool up.
On top of the wagon.
Okay.
Presumably now I'm higher up of an angle, so that I don't have to worry about Jorah being in the way to shoot at the wolf.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You've got a height advantage at that point.
And Jesse's smaller than him.
And Jesse's smaller, so it wouldn't affect you.
My next point is like, get down, Jesse.
Yeah. Well,
Ready?
Jesse only comes like belly button high to you, so. But yeah, you won't have to worry because you have the height. It's a fairly tall wag. It's like one of those like colonial, like it's got like the spring loaded. Yeah. So it's a fairly high wagon. So yeah, go. It's a normal attack against his normal AC.
Yeah, so a crack goes off. You see the rifle fire at. How do I make it so that I do get it's next to the bear, so I'm gonna get sneak attack. But how do I make that happen in?
We have to make you an effect.
Yeah. Here, one second. I can quickly do this because Jesse has it. No, I just gave it to you. It's currently active.
Well then. A loud crack.
Or you could miss.
Wow. Okay, well.
Another thing I like to do is with sneak attack is if you edit your weapon itself in the versatile damage type and add a separate damage calculation for with sneak attack.
You could do that, yeah.
Pick one or the other.
But for right now, I gave you the sneak attack effect. What you can do when you have your character selected under the effects, you'll see sneak attack. You can click it to disable it, or if it's in red, it means it's enabled. So you can toggle it on and off.
I see.
Oh yeah. Note to self: enable my rage damage for.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
round.
So I roll it. What are we doing with fumbles today?
Oh, I don't do fumbles.
Well, then I miss.
Yeah. I don't do fumbles because it's not fair to like basically monks. It's like your one-shot barbarian or rogue or whatnot is much less impacted by fumbles than the monk who just tried to hit 5 to 6 times. Right. So I find statistically it's just not fair. Anyways, Jamie, you just pissed the fuck out of this direwolf off. He's not happy with you.
Uh-huh. That's fine.
Nope, down here. He comes up and here for 7 damage. He hit a 14.
Oh, yeah, that's my AC.
And a strength save. Okay, you're not knocked prone. Very much not. You're like wrestling the jaws of the wolf, like not today. But you do take the 7 damage.
Yeah, it happens.
And then it's your turn.
Oh, look at that. 7. Well, he's a little too close for me to be able to give him the old 1-2 with the gun again. Because yeah, I'm not stepping away from him. So that's just dumb. I will, however, gun goes to the ground and I draw my dagger. Just go right at him.
Nice.
Straight up Liam Neeson him.
Yeah. Let's do this. Got a little knife against this like bear-sized wolf.
This is gonna say it is a ranged attack, but it is not, simply because that's usually how I use my dagger.
It's a finesse weapon. I'm assuming you're just using dex all the time anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
and it gets only 1 additional.
1 additional.
Still good.
Okay.
Chunk of damage.
All right. That was still a good chunk of damage for a dagger. That was still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, I do not. I unfortunately do not have any bonuses currently.
Pass it on when you're done.
Oh, right. There you go.
Tabitha with a rose.
A Wither will basically make some gestures with her offhand again, and a tiny, almost imperceptible green mote of fire will float up from the corpse of the dead wolf, and then fly right across the forest into the one that's currently trying to maul its way into Jamie.
Oh shit.
And then, Tabitha will then twirl around to basically point her pistol. Somehow, through all the foliage and the distance, which should be like very hard for someone to make with a pistol shot, but she doesn't. I shouldn't say that until I roll.
Yeah. She aims wonderfully in that one.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it means you have sharpshooter.
I do.
Yeah.
Sharpshooter enabled, and I'm going to make a shot at that thing after using my bonus action to move the hex over onto it. So I reduced the thing the thing got reduced to 0 last round. So.
Oh, your custom. Oh yeah. Okay, your custom origin. I was like, oh yeah. I thought you were just high elf.
No.
A custom origin high elf. Less stats, but more feats.
I'm a half high elf. Yes. Technically. Target E.
Getting only a +2 to 1 stats worth the feat.
Yeah.
Oh shit, biscuits.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, I should have thrown on the plus 10 damage from sharpshooter.
I think that wolf is very, very dead. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
Blam! Cries out through the woods, and yeah.
Yeah.
After blowing a hole through the wolf, blow smoke from the top of the barrel.
Well, shit. That was. Whew. There's some rolls going on in this combat. So yeah, another wolf down. There's only the one left, and he's a little hurt. Oh! Accidentally clicked the button. Sorry, that was me. I clicked the button.
Yeah, I also clicked it at the same time.
I don't know why I clicked it when it was your turn. All right, back to the bear. Tila!
All right, 2 attacks incoming on the wolf. Start with the bite. It's 12 piercing, and got him locked in my jaws. Come down with the claw.
Yep, that hits.
Very nice.
I didn't hit with the second one, and you barely hit with the first one.
That was the grizzly pun, sir.
Oh. Mine was funny. Yours was the polar opposite. Jesse, it's your turn.
I'm gonna growl on that one.
Mike?
Oh yeah, you could probably shoot clear across this map. It's a bow and arrow.
So, here or where?
You're shooting. It's. Oh, you've got the magical effects selected. Click your character.
Okay.
There you go. Now you go to inventory.
Okay.
Yeah, then you can go to short bow. Oop. Down and over. And then that, yeah, and I'll set this up in the future to auto roll for you so you don't have to click the thing. But now you gotta click the attack. The little die there. It looks like 2d6 plus 5.
Yes.
It is unfortunately not a hit. 10 will not hit. Not as good as last time, but so Jesse Jane stands up and pulls off, does another attack with the bow, but unfortunately it's not enough, especially with the cover of the trees and Jorah and stuff there, because she's a bit shorter.
And he's a bit taller.
He's a bit taller.
Everybody's a bit taller.
Is
he's a bit taller than most.
he's gonna do the dog circling around walk thing as he's like hitting you. Oh, that is 14 piercing damage to the bear.
I made my save.
And you made your save, which is not terribly surprising. Terribly surprising.
I just imagine like there's like swaths of fur getting ripped out and whatnot. And just
That'd be a really cool fight. The dire wolf and the bear just like. Argh. Anywho, Jorah.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Circle around the big ass corpse.
I let you go through the corpse as well. It's just like difficult terrain, so really it would have been like the same distance
to hit. There we
I
go.
can see you like jumping off the corpse and just like coming down, both fists raring to go.
And here we go.
By the power of farmers. Yeah.
I built up some good muscles on the farm. I'm strong.
I punched cows larger than you. Okay.
What did you farm? Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Yeah, really.
Hey, wrong species.
So yeah, you come up and just like bam, and that's another solid hit. You can definitely see sort of like the wolf shake his head as he's almost dazed with the force of the hit that you just gave him in the head. Otto.
Oh damn it! Michael
I
Beck.
know a guy who used to flip cows, grab the horns, and flip them.
What's she doing?
Just gonna move that bonfire over, make another save.
All right.
New bonfire.
If you want to do the spell thingy.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Recast your bonfire.
Makes it. The bonfire is just not working for you today.
And then Meepsig's gonna come on over and fire another shot from her short bow.
Oh, nay.
And also miss.
This has not been a good round for short bows.
Well, no, Jesse's first attack was a crit.
I said this round.
Oh, this round. Yeah. William. Yeah. What you doing, sir? William?
He might be.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was double muted. I didn't. Anyways.
Double muted.
Well, muted in Discord. I'm muted on my mic.
Oh.
We hadn't talked about reloading properties. Am I allowed to just reload and fire here?
Oh yeah, it's the way because the way the standard DMG stuff works. It's just it has the reloading property. So until you can ignore it, you can only make one attack a round. But you just automatically reload every round.
Perfect. So, cock, powder, punch off, crack. You hear off goes the rifle. Of course, it doesn't go the way I want it to. Why didn't? Here you go. What? That shouldn't be. Are you kidding me? Take the low one. That doesn't make sense. Why? How did it go to?
I mean, the first one was 19.
No, it should be the first one.
No, but what's going on with the?
Are you right clicking things at all? Because right click alternates between advantage, disadvantage, and normal.
Yeah.
I didn't right click, and it doesn't even, when I hover over, it doesn't even say what it is, which is driving me nuts. So now maybe it has changed, and it's not. I'm gonna close my character out and try this again.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
I
weird.
had it in a separate window.
The first time you fired with disadvantage, it still hit.
Yeah, it should have hit because the first roll was a 19 on the die.
Then you hit with an 11.
So the damage should have applied. So, oh, you targeted yourself. 1 second. It targeted yourself and it didn't target him. So I just hit you for 17.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting you to have, like, I thought you were targeted him. But yeah, he takes 17.
You know why? Because I clicked back on my character to try to. Maybe that's
You're clicking something wrong. We'll just have to figure out what you're clicking wrong. But The important thing is, he did. And with that, the wolves have been dealt with. Now, before we close this out, it's reaching the end of the session. Are you gonna harvest from these wolves? You've got 3 very large wolf corpses here.
I mean, we definitely should try and get what we can.
I'm at least taking the pelts.
Crafting and
And
mats.
some meat, whatever we can, you know.
All right. What CR were these? Mother lickers. These
Cook
were
some wolf meat.
1.
I mean,
Okay.
it's stringy, but it's lean.
Okay,
I mean,
so you're trying to get the
dire-
pelts?
Yeah, do dire wolves even count as magical beasts? Or as monstrosities, or whatever they are?
I'm giving it that a dire wolf pelt would be special. So it would be an actual dire wolf pelt that you're getting. It's not a regular beast like a deer or a cow or something.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just questioning for
Oh,
clarification.
I would in this particular case, because it's still a wolf shape, if bigger, I would allow you to do the survival in place of the medicine check. I think I might make an addendum to Matt Colville's rules for that, for certain creatures, that you can make a survival the survival instead of the medicine for harvesting it, because it just makes sense. Right now, I just got it written more as to like the stock rules that he has. So it's a pelt, so it's going to be DC 11, and it's going to be survival, not medicine, but recently suffered more than 50% total hit points, so that brings the DC up to 13.
Yeah, I may have a fair bit on that one.
Yeah, they're all going to be DC 13s to get pelts off of. So yeah, if you would like to give me 3 rolls to see if you can get pelts from any of them properly. They're ruined if you roll badly.
Guidance.
Yep, I was just checking.
I'm assuming Jamie probably has the highest survival in the party.
Probably. And
Probably
yeah, you'll
Jamie
get guidance, so
Eli.
Cool.
Jamie
We know it's not Jesse.
or Tila might have a decent survival too.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty decent. I got a +5.
That's one better than mine.
Yeah, it's because she's got a really high wisdom, so.
But I was
but she Tila's also guidancing you, so you'll get an extra D4.
That's her contribution.
Yeah, sounds good. So survival. So we'll try all 3 if we can. So we'll do number 1.
And then add a D4. Actually, you don't need it. You made it.
Number 2.
This one needs a D4.
This one needs the D4.
4.
Oh, you just made it. Just made it.
Nice.
Okay, and then the last one.
Last one. Can't make it.
No, that's too low. Okay, so you're gonna get 2 of the pelts.
Cool.
So let me quickly get a local
I'm gonna
loot.
guess the one that fell, the one that's covered in glitter dust right now.
Well, as a result,
Items.
only a number of parts equal to half the total wisdom medicine bonus that the person doing the harvesting is available. Randomly determine if a creature is tiny or small. You carve it.
Where are you, pelts? There you are. Boop. Pelt. Dire wolf. You got 2 of them. It is worth 5 silver apiece. And it weighs. They're large, 5 pounds apiece.
And your total modifier was a +4, you said?
Yes.
So in theory, we should be able to get 2 parts each from the wolf, according to the harvesting rules.
My modifiers. I only have a +2 total. My total skill is
That's what I said. Your
oh
total skill modifier is +4.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you want to try and harvest anything else out of it then? Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
the
Because
DZ.
it says you could whatever parts equal to half the total wisdom medicine bonus. I'm assuming survival in this case. So
Yeah,
you'll
survival
get-
in this case.
Get a second thing from it other than the pelt.
Yeah,
From
sure.
each one to try and get. If there's
Claws?
anything else we want from them, claws or
Fangs.
Well, what do you
or bones or it's like I'm just saying it's like we can get other stuff off
Okay.
of them too.
Okay. Okay.
You don't have to get
I'm-
just the pelts.
Oh, how about the wings?
Yeah. As a hunter, I'm actually going to say that I would like to go for the bladder of.
Okay, so soft flesh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's going to end up being a DC 15.
Guys,
But yeah, you can do that for all three of them if you want.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes the most sense. They're wolf. They're not great eating.
yeah, it's kind of gamey.
And honestly, a couple of them, their jaws are kind of messed up.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
mean,
Go ahead and roll.
That got sucker punched.
So the first one
Claws
is
and stuff.
good.
Yeah, you don't even need guidance for the first one.
The second
second.
one is good. Oh,
Guidance might tip that enough, depending on what you
No.
roll. No.
So the one
Two out of
wolf
three.
is completely ruined. Like you're not getting anything from that one.
that one voided its bladder during the fight.
So you got
That was probably the one that Wither, exploded.
Yeah,
so you got two of them.
yeah. I got two
Yeah.
Okay.
full bladders of dire wolf.
All right.
It was either that or the one that got, covered in
Two
sparkles and
soft
got
fleshes.
sucker punched by Jorah.
There you go.
Because I'm pretty sure Jorah may have ripped off a.
Because those will be great for keeping stuff away from stuff we don't want near it.
So there should be a local loot there now.
Nice.
Right here.
There you go. We'll just put all that in the stash, I guess. I'm not carrying it.
Yeah, feel free to store it in the wagon. You can go basically just loot it and go back to the main page if you need or whatever. Just you can put it in the storage in the stash.
And after Jorah's rage subsides, he's gonna shake it off a bit and second wind.
Shaking off. All right. Let's bring everybody back to the main page. All right. Well, that is enough for tonight. Thank you everyone that joined us for session 1 of Forgelands. Hopefully it is living up to your expectations so far. But we have
Did the thingies
begun a
get
journey. Yes, he got them. I checked before we transferred.
Yeah, got him.
Okay.
I made sure. So yeah, we got you sort of fast forwarded and then rewound again. Basically, during the course of this journey is when the encounter with the bandits happened. So you've before you dealt with the direwolves, you actually had the issues with the bandit, and as a result, there was less stuff in the store for this campaign, but that's fine. Still had a fair amount of stuff in there. And I think it's going pretty good. So once again, if anyone else is watching, like, subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff. We'll be back next week for session 2, as they are now in the general area and they got to start clearing an area for their settlement, clearing out the dangers. Who knows what will befall them in the local area of Forgelands.
And if you missed it, watch session 0 to see how we came up with a lot of this shit.
Yeah, I'm surprised how many people were interested in that. Session 0 is pretty cool. So yes, Thank you everybody. I will talk to you guys